Hello Ghana, hello worldwide, I'm Mr. Level Bam. Now listen, every Tuesday and Friday, beyond the time it's going to carry bro. Our GhanaTalks Radio, 7 p.m. sharp. Now Tuesday, we're gonna talk about our culture, our history. Matuni ding setete abako sem. Now on the Friday, you bars on bars. You better rap, you better say it. No artists go join me in the studio. We're gonna discuss about music and business. Konya, or you singer and now you rapper, you think say you get bars. You go fi spit fire. Now listen, make you join me with studios. Our GhanaTalks Radio and yes say then our day. Me say download the GhanaTalks Radio app no our Play Store and the App Store. Na tune in and say this what you see baba live on Facebook, go Instagram, any GhanaTalks Radio page and so now listen. E be your fire. 1 year, Konya, Wading, Jajan.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with GhanaTalks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With GhanaTalks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. GhanaTalks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. GhanaTalks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries.
Koko nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
Wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on GhanaTalks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials. From Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare,
Regina Bless,
Deborah Adoso,
and I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is GhanaTalks Breakfast Show.
GhanaTalks Radio, #1.
This is GhanaTalks Breakfast Show, your morning companion. Good morning, Ghana. Good morning, everyone. And good morning to my lovely listeners of GhanaTalks Radio. It's another beautiful, brand new day. Yeah, it's a beautiful Friday morning. And you are welcome to the GhanaTalks Breakfast Show right here on GhanaTalks Radio. Here is the news headline review. Here we bring you all the latest headlines making waves in the news.
This is GhanaTalks Radio, the
from
best
sports to
station.
entertainment and everything in between. We got you covered with the most relevant stories. As usual, remain your host, Esinam Fiagbedu. Now, before today we dive into our news headline review, let's have a look at the newspaper headlines as well. So, the Daily Guide, CJ removal, I want public hearing. And that is coming from Madam Gertrude Tokono. CJ removal, I want public hearing. She says she wants a public hearing of her petition. And from what I know, it's not supposed to be made public. But here lies the case. The CJ herself is opting for a public hearing of the petitions. Now, is left with, our leaders and President John Dramani Mahama to decide either to make the public hearing or to ignore her, because according to the Constitution, it's not supposed to be made public. And then for one or two reasons, I feel like this is a trap, because if the president should adhere to this, that is going to be a breach of the Constitution. What are your thoughts as well? On the same Daily Guide, we have PPP vital to sealing tax leakages, expert. VIP back home. Yes, so yesterday, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana returned home from a medical break. Yeah, it's good to have you back. VIP, you are welcome. On the same daily guide, we have Baumia visits Commonwealth Secretary General. Now, moving on. Daily graphic, VIP is back. Oil money to push, big push. Petroleum revenue law amended to channel 70% proceeds to infrastructure. Experts applaud move. On the same daily guide, we have Ghanaian nurse eyes $250,000 global award. Wow, that's impressive. And then the same daily guide, we have Interior Ministry beefs up security in conflict-prone areas. The Ghanaian publisher, minority charge on government over delayed statutory payments. Alfred Mahama refutes claims, denies engaging in Galamsey activities. On the same, the Ghanaian publisher, CJ removal probe must be public. That is coming from Godfred Dame. Moving on to the news center. Momo restructure won't diminish share value. Yamson. Momo restructure won't diminish share value. And that is coming from Yamson. The Daily Center also says VIP returns home after recovery in London. VIP returns home after recovery in London. You know, we are all so much excited about VIP's return back to Ghana. You know, we were all so sad when the president announced to us that the VIP is not well and will be going on a break to London for a medical treatment. And lo and behold, she is back, fit as a fiddle. All right, the news center. Gold Board extend license transition deadline to June 21st. Gold Board extend license transition deadline to June 21st. Ghana Card powers healthcare. Ghana Card powers healthcare. Bank of Ghana cites stability amid cautions on risks. Bank of Ghana cites stability amid cautions on risks. The Daily Statesman, CJ 6 public hearing for removal petition. CJ 6 public hearing for removal petition. Bank of Ghana initiates comprehensive monetary policy framework. Bank of Ghana initiates comprehensive monetary policy framework. Mahama and the fire over Galamsey in action. Mahama and the fire over Galamsey in action. Yes, President John Dramani Mahama is under a lot of pressure with the issue of Galamsey. You know, Galamsey has become a big crisis for the country. And even in opposition, the digital communication minister, in the person of Sam George, said if they come to power, within 1 week, they can tackle Galamsey. And they've been in power for how many months now? 5 months, and we've still not seen any action being taken. Yes, we've seen some efforts being made by the president by arresting the miners, and also the interior minister coming out to say that they are going to deport any foreigner who is involved in Galamsey. That alone is not enough. That alone is not enough, Mr. President. That alone is not enough. So I understand the people coming at you that you should do everything in your possible best to make sure that you tackle Galamsey. Because when in opposition, you were very loud about it, that you were going to tackle Galamsey. We want to see you working. Yes, we've seen some efforts being made, but you deploying some blue water guards. That one alone is not enough. We want to see serious action, intensive action to tackle Galamsey. So I understand it if people are giving you pressure and if you're on heat, on fire to tackle Galamsey. Yes, we understand it because you were very loud when you were in opposition. So just take it as it is. VIP back from UK medical break, and that is the Daily Statesman. The Ghanaian Times, 2,000 women live with obstetric tenure due to limited capacity to treat. Limited infrastructure, our main concern, Utah's VC lament. Government urged to establish schools for children with special needs learning disabilities. The Weekend Crusading Guard. New Crusading Weekend does it. So paper budget, empty wallet, as government fails to deliver 21 billion Ghana cedis statutory funds, minority. CD surge demands power price cuts. Equewuman chief denounced Clement Jato. Gold board extend new gold trading license regime deadline. Stop blaming Daddy Lumba for celebrity death. And that is coming from the New Guard Weekend Crusading. We have the Daily Searchlights. Shocking. Ekufado's budget for Su Children's Home 2024. Mahama gives zero so far in 2025 as Semi-Genfi cuts away millions. Daily Post. Vip Nana Jane is back. To the anguish of the NPP, their evil wish has come to naught. Alleged secret meeting. Eduji Tamaklo releases CCTV footage to refute Alfred Kumi's petition claims. No one is above the law. No one is above the law. Ansa Asari on suspending CJ's request for public hearing. No one is above the law. It is wrong for you to come out to say that. They should make the petition public. No. In the Constitution, it's not supposed to be made public. So why the CJ? Why the CJ? Why is it that you, of all people, you want it to be made public? Why? Are you setting a trap? No, don't do that. Godfrey Dame dragged to General Legal Counsel for alleged misconduct. Godfrey Dame dragged to General Legal Counsel for alleged misconduct. And that is from the Daily Postman. And that is all we have for the newspaper headlines. That is all we have for the newspaper headlines. We will be going for a quick commercial break. We will be back with a news headline review.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries.
Koko Nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
Wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare.
Regina Bless.
Deborah Adoso.
And I am Esinam Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion.
Welcome back, and this is the news headline review. Yeah, so let's dive straight into a major news headline for today. Ghana introduces 5-day visa policy to attract tourists and investors. Ghana introduces 5-day visa policy to attract tourists and investors. The government of Ghana has rolled out a new visa policy that will see applications processed within a maximum of 5 working days, a drastic reduction from the previous 4 to 6 week time frame. Announcing the policy, Minister for Foreign Affairs Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa said the directive takes immediate effect and is aimed at repositioning Ghana as a premium destination for tourism, business and investment in Africa. In a Facebook post, the ministry stated, "We have put in place adequate measures at our diplomatic missions to drastically cut down the visa processing time. The new visa policy takes immediate effect." According to the minister, systems have already been deployed across Ghana's diplomatic missions worldwide to ensure smooth and efficient implementation of the expedited regimen. The move follows President John Dramani Mahama's inaugural pledge on January 7, 2025, that Ghana is open for business. The foreign minister noted that this policy gives practical meaning to that vision by removing long-standing bureaucratic barriers that have frustrated travelers and investors. Mr. Blakwa said, "As foreign minister, I have committed to positioning Ghana as the preferred destination for investors and tourists by making the country more competitive and eliminating red tape." However, the ministry emphasized that the new timeline does not guarantee automatic approval. The expedited policy is expected to boost tourism, attract foreign direct investment, and encourage greater engagement with the Ghanaian diaspora. Now, let's break this down. What does this mean? The announcement means that Ghana has significantly reduced the time it takes to get a visa, aiming to make the country more attractive to tourists, investors, and members of the diaspora. Here's a breakdown of what it means. Faster visa processing. So previously, it took about 4 to 6 weeks to process a visa right here in Ghana. Yeah, if you want to get a visa done, it takes such a longer period for you to get your visa. It takes about 4 to 6 weeks. And even sometimes, if you're not lucky, it's going to take a whole couple of months. But now, from Okudzeto Ablakwa, who is the foreign affairs minister, he says that it's going to take not more than 5 working days to get your visa. So previously, it took 4 to 6 weeks to process visa in Ghana. But now, it takes no more than 5 working days. So within 5 working days, if you should apply for visa in Ghana, you will have it. That is what he said. We are just hoping that it takes effect. And this change is effective immediately, meaning that effectively, it has already started taking place. It removes a major barrier for people who want to visit, do business, or invest in Ghana. Faster visa processing is a competitive advantage over other countries with slower systems. It aligns with the new president's pledge that Ghana is open for business. Indeed, we've seen them working, and indeed, Ghana is open for business. Now, I guess this shouldn't be a hindrance or a barrier for businessmen, investors, and tourists who want to visit Ghana. Now, if you apply visa, you don't need to wait for long. Within 5 working days, you have your visa. This is not a guarantee that your visa will be approved, just that a decision will be made faster. Yes, we shouldn't get it all wrong. For the fact that your visa will be processed in less than 5 working days doesn't mean your visa will be approved. You can't be declined if some of your papers or your documents are not right. So don't be too excited. You will get your visa, but maybe either approved or not approved. Applicants still need to meet all the requirements. Yes, you still need to meet all the requirements. So the expected impact: More tourists may come, knowing it's easy to get a visa. Foreign businesses might be more willing to explore opportunities. Ghanaians abroad can visit and engage with the country more easily. There will be, in and out, simply because now they know their visa will be approved early. But even that, let me not get it wrong, let me not get your hopes so high. It's either it's going to be approved or not approved at all. Just get your requirements, get all your documents right. Just that the process is going to be made faster. The decision is going to be made faster as to whether you are getting your visa or not. So in summary, Ghana is streamlining its visa process to boost its economy and global profile. So that is it. And I know most people are pretty much excited about it. Now it's going to take 5 working days to get your visa ready. As to whether it's approved or not, a decision will be made faster. But you don't know if you are getting the visa or not. But just the decision will be made faster. With that, you know your stand. You don't get, they don't get to waste your time. You know your stand if you are going or not, and that is it. And I think it's a good news, and we are all excited about it. Indeed, Ghana is open for business. Moving on to our second news headline. Government begins process to reintroduce road tolls. Government begins process to reintroduce road tolls. The government has initiated the process of reintroducing road tolls, this time using technology-driven solutions. The Ministry of Roads and Highways, which is spearheading the process, is inviting qualified Ghanaian private sector entities to submit tenders for pre-qualifications for the design, financing, construction, operation, and maintenance. The process, which is under the Public-Private Partnership Act 2022 at 1039, aims to reintroduce towing on roads and bridges by modernizing 65 towing points nationwide, an increase from the previous 39 before the suspension, while leveraging advanced technology to enhance efficiency, transparency, and revenue generation. He explained that the successful bidder would be responsible for finance and investment, mobilizing capital for the towing systems, modernization, and also undertake the design and construction through engineering, construction, and installation of toll gantries or plaza and related infrastructure. In the operation and maintenance, he said, the selected bidder would manage toll collection and related road bridges and ensure system reliability, and that with revenue collection, it would implement robust system to maximize efficiency and minimize revenue leakages. Yes, so the government begins process to reintroduce road toll, and this time around they want to use technology-driven solution. So they want to collaborate with Ghanaian private sectors entities who are interested in, collaborating to seek solution. Obviously, technology, which is technologically driven. So that means that you can bid, you can send in a proposal, or you can pitch for it. And pre-qualification for the design, you pitch for the design, financing, construction, operation, and then maintenance. And once your pitch or your proposal is, encouraging enough, you will be given the contract. So the process, which is under the public-private partnership, aims to reintroducing towing on roads and bridges by modernizing 65 towing points nationwide, an increase from the previous 39 before the suspension, while leveraging advanced technology to enhance efficiency, transparency, and revenue generation. So in other words, he says, we are beginning the procurement process where we are inviting Ghanaian-owned companies that is led by Ghanaians. At least they should prove that Ghanaians have about 51% in that consortium. Yes, so that is it. We are doing what we call the pre-qualification, where we look at the technical, the financial capacity of the firms, and their legal status. The head of the public relations of the Ministry of Roads and Highways, Mr. Yate, told the Daily Graphic yesterday. So that is it. And they are doing something they call the pre-qualification, where they look at the technical, the financial capacity of the firm. Obviously, it's open to private sectors as well. So if you were better, if you're a Ghanaian private sector and you're interested, you can shoot your shot. And if you meet the capabilities and the capacity, why not? You will be given the contract. So that is it. So Accra's decongestion, regional minister to reactivate task force. The Greater Accra Regional Coordinating Council will reactivate the task force responsible for reinforcing street trading regulations in Accra. The Greater Accra Regional Minister, Linda Obenewa Akwele Oklu, has said. The move, she said, was to sustainably decongest the city streets, which were usually occupied by traders, and improve the free movements of vehicles and patrols in the city's central business district. The minister was speaking following a tour of the central business district last Tuesday after an earlier decongestion exercise led by the Accra Metropolitan Chief Executive Officer in the person of Michael Kpakpo Alote to evict traders using pavements and the streets as a market. She said the task force would operate 24 hours and impose fines ranging from 1,500 Ghana cedis to 2,000 Ghana cedis on traders who cross a designed red line that will be marked on the pavement and roads. Ms. Oklu added that market leaders would also be charged with a responsibility to ensure compliance with regulations. The minister emphasized the need to maintain proper order in the city centers and ease the congestion usually witnessed on the roads. This is a place one can spend hours in a vehicle before making their way out of it. Days before, this place was impassable due to street trading. In her words, she said, "Look at how beautiful and free the streets are after the decongestion exercise." So Accra's decongestion, regional minister to reactivate task force. The Greater Accra Regional Coordinating Council will reactivate the task force responsible for enforcing street trading regulations in Accra, the Greater Accra Regional Minister, Linda Obenewa, has said. So this is coming from the regional minister. And she says they are going to reactivate the task force. And these are kind of like people who are deployed to our streets to enforce that there's law and order on the streets. In other words, they are termed as the abaye. They make sure that they, sack traders from where they are not supposed to be. And the regional minister said that they are going to reactivate the task force right here in Greater Accra to make sure that the street is free for vehicles to pass. And I mean, you all can attest to the fact that when you visit Accra, it's not easy. You can be in traffic for longer periods, especially when you get to the Kisway. I must say, it's very disturbing. That place is congested. And roads which are meant for vehicles to be passing and pavements which are meant for pedestrians to be passing has all been occupied by traders. And I tell you for a fact that if you don't know now who kopem way at the time for being in Yama wom yaw be yaw no wom drebeju obey yaw generation ni na. So right now you trap red line among. And they are saying that the Accra mayor is saying that do not cross this red line. If you cross this red line, you'll be fine. At least it's ranging from 1,500 to 1,000 to 2,000 Ghana cedis. That is if you cross that line. Leave the roads for the drivers and leave the pavements for the pedestrians to pass on. Now, this is where my argument comes in. You are sacking the traders. Have you allocated any area for these traders to move on? You know, I think we need to be considerate. These are places that, you know, they also come every morning. In other words, that's their office. That's where they come every morning to come and, you know, sell and then fed for themselves and then fed for their children as well. And then now they are sacking them. Where do they go from here? So in other words, I feel like a place should be allocated for them before this whole decongestion take place. Because these people will come back. And I must say, I'm not lying, you can go to the street of Accra, you see them there. Right after which the decongestion was taking place on Tuesday. In the evening, the traders are back. Why? Because they don't have anywhere to go to. It's good. We've seen people come to do this whole decongestion and whole of a thing. But where did it lead us to as a nation? The traders came back, and what did they do? They did nothing about it. And in the first place, even if, why did we have to wait as a country for us to wait for this to escalate before we take drastic measures? I mean, if the traders are indeed meant for pedestrians, even if there's one trader on that pavement, I think action should have been taken immediately to reprimand that trader. Hey, this is for pedestrians. You don't have to sell here. This is not the right place for you to be selling. It's good. They are taking drastic measures to make sure that the city of Accra is looking good and nice. But how are they going to sustain it? I remember some time back, they sacked the onion sellers to Kotoku somewhere in Amasaman. When they sacked them, they had no other place but to go there simply because that place was allocated for them. But here lies the case, these traders do not have anywhere to go to. And you are sacking them. Where should they go to? So in other words, we are pleading with the government, please, allocate places for these traders before you sack them. Otherwise, what you are doing is cost 90. They will come back again. They will come back again. They're fine, you find them. As to whether they'll pay or not, we shall see. These are traders. Then they ain't see that. They've sacked them before and they came back and they are doing it again. What other different thing are we doing this time around? For the fact that the mayor is leading the charge himself now, is that a different thing? Come on. I think more drastic steps should be put in place. The fine alone is not enough. Look for place for these traders to go to before you take this move. You are sacking them. They will come back. Come there, they'll come back. Yeah, so Miss Regina just joined me. What are your thoughts on this whole activation of task force on our roads with regards to the decongestion?
So the task force was already in existence before all of a sudden these people were not being heard of. So they reintroducing the task force, I think it would really help. It would the decongestion exercise can go on, but as to how or as to when these people would come back to the roads again, it would be very difficult. We know that these traders don't have anywhere aside where they are selling. We know that it's a bad thing for them to sell there, but if the task force is brought again, I think it would help. Yeah.
You think it will help? But here lies the case. These people haven't found a place for these traders to move, and then they are sacking them. So what's the difference? I don't know if you get my point.
That is an issue to the government, an issue to the Accra mayor and other regional ministers in charge. That should be their headache, and it should be their worry. If you are sacking these people, where do you expect these people to be? Obviously, they would come back to the same spot you always keep, or you always try your possible best to make sure that that path is clear. I believe that once you are sacking these people, you should have an alternative for them, and that is if you are even supposed to go buy another or go acquire another huge or acres of land to just construct that into what is it said, a market for them. I think it's cool.
You think is cool. So for the minister to say that, the original minister to say that they are reactivating the task force. The task force, they've been in exist even when they were deactivated. When you go to Accra, especially in front of the cocoa board, when you go there, you still see them sacking these traders. I feel like the fine alone is not enough. So I think they should rather look for a place for them. Well, we are fortunate enough to have Mr. Omari join us, and he's going to share his thoughts about the reactivating of the task force in the city of Accra. What do you make of it?
First of all, good morning to our listeners, wherever they are listening to us from. Now, the task force, I believe that it's a good thing. We really need them. The only problem about all these things is that we do them and then temporarily they just fade off. So whatever service they were providing or whatever measures they were put in place to establish, we see that for a few weeks, a few months, we are back to square one. And so yes, the reintroduction of the task force is a great idea, but then also let's do it in a different way this time around. We can't just go back and forth every now and then. Like it's more like we are just putting up a camouflage. We are just doing something for public appraisal, a few weeks, a few months, then we are back to square one. Everybody go back to normal, the same ways. We can't afford all these things again. Mind you, all these things they are financially supported. So if we are throwing money into these things, wasting them without getting the results that we really require, then there's no need to do it in the first place.
Yeah, because I believe this task force that they are deploying for 24 hours, they are going to be paid.
Yes, they
so
are.
Why don't they use that money to allocate a place for these people rather than paying the task force to
okay, that's another brilliant idea. If they can actually do that, it will be massive. It will be very encouraging. And for me, I even believe that they can do both. They can find a place for these people and still employ the task force. Because we know Ghanaians, we know ourselves. We know that once we take our feet off the pedal, the bus stops again.
Yeah, they will come again.
Exactly.
They will come again.
So if we can do both, perfect. But then the task force is needed. But much more brilliantly, I think the suggestion you just gave is more required. Let's invest that money in finding these people a place.
Okay.
That will solve about 70% of the problem. That's all. In that case, those who will be coming back to the streets won't be the old people. There might be some new people who want to find a living also, or a survival. And with them, stopping them won't be that difficult because they are new. If we don't accommodate them in the first place, they are not coming to stay. So yes, let's find a place for these sacked traders or vendors from the streets, and then maybe we can employ the
I think that would be fair to find a place for them before we sack them. Other than that, it's going to be a cost-90 job because they will come back again. Because as and now, even in the evening,
you see them back.
They were back. All right. So before we wrap up for the news headline review, in the Daily Graphic, CJ removal, she wants her petition to be made public. What do you make of it? Because according to the Constitution, this is not supposed to be made public. And now she is demanding that it should be made public. Do you think it's kind of like a trap? Because I wouldn't expect like the CJ who knows the Constitution, like, they should even take the Constitution as their daily manner or like their daily guide. They should use it every day.
Sure.
And here lies the case. She is the one coming out to say that they should make her petition
in
public.
Well, as you said, this is almost like a trap.
Yeah.
I don't know what the CG and her advisors are seeking to achieve with all that they are doing as at now. Because if you look at the case at hand, the most mind-boggling thing is the person she has chosen to represent her,
which is Godfrey Dami.
Yes. Now, the most primary aspects of her whole petitioning to be removed is based on the fact that they believe, or the public believe, she was biased or she was politically inclined. So if that is the case for you, the basic primary case for removal, then you go and take another person who is politically inclined to represent you in the same party that you were being accused of inclination.
Yeah.
I mean, you are just shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. I was suspecting her to even go for some neutral representative.
But
for
I saw
you to,
Godfrey doesn't me. I was like, oh jeez.
Then you just confirm
You just
the entire
you get
approach the public is giving. So I don't know. And with the case of her seeking
that the hearing should be made public.
I mean, for what reason? What is she scared of? What does she think she could be manipulated into in the condoms of a private hearing? This is not the first time there's been a hearing for a justice in this country. Were those ones made public?
No.
Why does she think hers should be different from all the others? So it's a no for me. The law is the law. She said it herself.
Yeah.
The law is the law. So we should go by. And the people she's up against. These are not people you should even come up with some of these things.
Right.
We are talking about Tadio Sori. We are talking about Oliver Baker. We are talking about the law himself.
Yeah.
Tachuchi Kata. Well, I mean, no. Semenena, come and resign.
Yeah. Just to save yourself the drama. Yeah. Why don't you just resign?
Because nothing shows that she's coming back. No, nothing shows. From where we stand now, nothing shows.
And even from the way she is escalating this whole issue, I feel like she's even worsening her case.
Yeah.
All right, Miss Regina, what are your contributions with regards to this?
All right, so before I say anything, as we said, the law is the law.
Yeah. And
as once a chief justice, I believe that you should know the rules, you should know the laws, and also their laws or their orders or directives governing everybody or every institution. So as a chief justice, I'm quite surprised for her to even come out to say that she wants her ruling or she wants her issue to be made public. I'm quite surprised, because in the Constitution, it is stated in the Constitution that anything that has to do with the judiciary or the judicial system should be private, and rulings or whatsoever, any issues, petitions should be private. But why then do you come out to say that you want your issue to be made public? With that, I would say there's a little bit of question mark there. And also with the case of his lawyer, Godfrey Dami, he was once the
Attorney General.
Yeah. The main issue as to why people are sending a petition against you is because of this issue, what you just did.
Yeah.
You went as far as taking someone who was once in power with the past administration to represent you on this current issue.
Yeah,
At
so
least
why
we
don't
have
go
a
for
lot
someone
of
neutral?
lawyers. Exactly, we have a lot of lawyers out there. Just go to them, let them represent you. But with this, maybe she has her own reason as to why she took that lawyer. So,
all right. do you have any last words with regards to this?
Yeah, with regards to this, I think that this should serve as a caution to everyone appointed into public office. The office is not yours. You are not entitled to it forever. Someday, somehow, you are going to stand the consequences of whatever action you take in there. So this should serve as a deterrent to all other public officials, whether you are a CJ, whether you are a CEO, whatever you are. Make sure you serve with diligence. That's what I'll say.
All right. This is where we draw the curtains for the news headline review. Thank you so much for joining us. Up next, we have Today in History with Miss Regina Bless.
Bringing you Today in History and Did You Know, live on Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. Today is World Turtle Day, observed in Africa and globally. An occasion celebrated in various African countries to raise awareness about turtle conservation and the protection of their habitat. Italy declares war on Austria-Hungary. Austria-Hungary, entering World War I on the side of their allies Britain, France and Russia. Federal Republic of Germany is established. The Federal Republic of Germany, popularly known as West Germany, is formally established as a separate and independent nation. This action marked the effective end to any discussion of reuniting East and West Germany. Ireland legalizes same-sex marriage. 2015, thousands of LGBTQ activists celebrated as Ireland became the first country to legalize same-sex marriage through referendum. The referendum passed with 62% of voters voting yes. That is approximately 1.2 million people. The vote attracted a large turnout, with 60.5% of eligible voters and an unprecedented amount of young people making their way to the polls. Moving to some few did you know facts for today. Did you know that students who eat breakfast perform better academically? Students who eat breakfast have better focus, problem-solving ability, and improved memory. A 2019 study found students who frequently ate breakfast scored higher in academic performance than students who skipped breakfast. Did you know that Ghana was one of the first African countries to implement free compulsory basic education? Ghana was indeed one of the first African countries to implement free compulsory basic education. The policy, known as Free Compulsory Universal Basic Education, was introduced in 1996. It was further strengthened with the introduction of the Capitation Grant Scheme in 2005, which provided financial support to schools to offset the loss of tuition fees. Did you also know that tomatoes were once considered poisonous in Europe, particularly in the 18th century? This belief stemmed from a few factors, including their association with the nightshade family, which includes deadly nightshade, and the fact that early European aristocrats who ate them from pewter plates were experiencing lead poisoning. And that's all for today on Today in History and Did You Know, live on Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Thank you so much, Miss Regina Bless, for that fascinating fact. And I think with regards to the breakfast, have you taken breakfast this morning? I know your breakfast is not breakfast.
Today there's no breakfast.
Oh, today there's no breakfast, but you're on the breakfast show.
Hungry.
So it's very important to take your breakfast. I think taking breakfast in the morning kind of like boosts you, gives you that confidence and makes you more active. Am I lying?
Not all.
Yeah, not all.
Yeah.
For me per se, if I take beverage or tea, Milo, as we say it, with some toasted bread, I feel more active. But after a couple of hours,
I feel sick.
Oh, my bad. Meaning once you finish taking your breakfast, you want to sleep.
Exactly.
Oh, I see. August wife. All right. Thank you so much. Up next, we have Debbie's Grill. Miss Debbie.
Welcome to Debbie's Grill, when we talk deep into sensitive issues. Now let's look at this. The acting chief executive of the Ghana Chamber of Mines, Ahmed Naktogma, has demanded the passage of a law to regulate how mineral royalties are used at the local level. He said that without such a legal framework, communities hosting mining operations will continue to suffer from underdevelopment, despite the huge revenues they generate. He argued that whilst mining companies are often blamed for underdevelopment in mining communities, the real issue lies with the misuse of royalties by local authorities. Now, he also questioned why assemblies receiving royalties still return to the companies asking for help with basic infrastructure. So basically, this is the acting chief executive of the Ghana Chamber of Mines. I mean, talking about something that has been in existence for God knows how many period it has taken as it stands now. It is very common when you go into the mining sectors and then you see mining activities ongoing and then the communities are very underdeveloped. I mean, we can mention a lot of communities in Ghana where there is extensive ongoing of mining in the community. But talking about basic infrastructures like, basic amenities like schools, chips compound, basic stuffs that a community is supposed to have to promote development. It is not done. But then mind you, the community in which you are mining, it belongs to a particular community. And then the goals you are taking out, basically, so far as they are natives of that community, and it's more or less like they are the blood of the land, then it means whatever you are taking out is their property. It's for them. So you have to do something to compensate them. And you see, mining or gold, as we say, generates revenues for the country. And then the local authorities also take part of it. But you see, as he said, it doesn't make sense when, there is retardedness of development in a community, and then you still have to go to these companies, for help. Meanwhile, they pay a certain percentage to the local authorities. So then, what are those monies used for? That is the question we should be asking ourselves. Because it's a pity, and it's very painful when you get to mining communities. Mining communities in Ghana are one of the most poorest communities. I'm sorry, but that's the fact. They are one of the most poorest communities in the country. Because you go to a whole community where they mine gold, and gold we are talking about is money. Those communities should be, at least if not the richest community in Ghana, one of the most, conducive communities where the residents in this particular community have access to certain basic amenities. You see, it is very good when you go to mine in a community and then you leave behind something. Or maybe in the collateral you tell them, or you go in a negotiation with them. After I'm done mining, Maybe we will build a school for your community. We'll build a chips compound for your community. We are going to do this and that for the community. Maybe you are going to create this type of job or this type of work and then employ some of the residents in the community so that at least they can benefit from what is going on. This has to do with the legal firms. What of the illegal firms? They mine illegally and then that's it. It ends there. And then these residents, they have no benefits in whatsoever is going on. All that they know is that they are mining and then that's it. And then it's a pity when you see these residents coming up and then speaking, pouring out their grievances. That they need this, they need that. But these are the same people that are being endowed with gold. Do you know the kind of pride it comes with when you feel like you are in a particular locality that is full of gold? But it's very painful when you brag that, you are coming from a gold society or gold community, and at the end of the day, you see nothing. It is very bad. So the call to, pass this into law, the call to bring out a law and then send into the parliament and then passed into a law, it's going to help. Because when there is a law that has been passed by parliament, that anyone who goes into mine in all the mining communities we have in this country, this is what you're supposed to do. This is what you're supposed to do. Then they have it in mind that as I'm going to mine in this particular community, these are the developments I'm supposed to do. And it will be like a task to them. And they must fulfill it. Because it's a law that has been passed. And then when you flout it, definitely, there's going to be a punishment that you are supposed to go through. So this is something that is very important. And so please, we are calling on all the authorities and even the government that what Mr. Ahmed is saying should be looked into and then passed into law. Because it's a pity. You go to a whole community where the mine goes literally every day. And then they complain of, they complain of, health care. They don't have good health care, quality health care they don't have. And then some of these students in those mining communities have to walk like 10 miles, 15 miles to the next community because they want to be educated. Please, let's look into this because it's very, very, very important. Thank you for making time with me on Debbie's Grill.
Thank you so much. And that was the Debbie's Grill. All right. Thank you so much for joining us in the first segment of the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. Right after this, when it's 8 a.m., we'll be coming up with the news. And after the news, we'll be coming with the second segment. And in the second segment, we'll be coming with health matters. Please do not miss it. Stick and stay with us.
Hello Ghana, hello worldwide, I'm Mr. Level Bam. Now listen, every Tuesday and Friday, beyond the time it's going to carry Brel, our GhanaTalks Radio, 7 p.m. sharp. Now Tuesday, we're going to talk about our culture, our history. Matuni ding setete abako sem. Now on the Friday, you bars on bars. You better rap, you better say it. No artists go join me in the studio. We're going to discuss about music and business. Konya, or you singer, and now you rapper, you think say you get bars. You go fi spit fire. Now listen, make you join me with studios. Our GhanaTalks Radio and yes say then our day. Me say download the GhanaTalks Radio app no our Play Store and the App Store. Na tune in yes say this what you see baba live on Facebook, ko Instagram, any GhanaTalks Radio page and so now listen. E be your fire. 1 year, Konya, wading. Jajan.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with GhanaTalks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With Ghana Talks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. Ghana Talks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. Ghana Talks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
We bring you local news, business news, international, sports, and entertainment news. Right here on GTR.
Good morning and welcome to the morning news broadcast on Ghana Talks Radio. In today's news highlights, Vice President expresses gratitude to Ibrahim Mahama for his support. Underdeveloped plugs Ghana's mining communities. Ghana Chamber of Mines reveal 42% indigenous workforce in mining. Metro Mass Transit hit with 125 million debt bombshell. Catherine Afeko says NPP will come back stronger in 2028 elections. These and many more coming up shortly. My name is Deborah Doso. The Vice President, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, has expressed heartfelt gratitude to businessman Ibrahim Mahama for his support during her recent health challenges. In her first public remarks after returning to Ghana following medical care in the United Kingdom, she appreciated President John Mahama and notably acknowledged Ibrahim Mahama's kindness. According to her, Ibrahim Mahama's action demonstrates his commitment to her health and recovery. She highlights the significance of personal relationships and support during challenging times.
I want to say thanks to God. His mercies have been infinite, as always, and I'm very grateful. I express gratitude to the medical staff too, for seeing the right thing, for making the right proposals. And to my boss, that day, I don't know where you appeared from, but he came and quickly set in motion what we needed to do. And I also want to thank all of you, your prayers, for your good wishes. I can't be thankful enough. I'm very grateful. But I need to isolate beyond family and friends, your brother, Mr. Ibrahim. He stopped at nothing to ensure that I had what I needed. And then he also came to the hospital. He came to sit by me, and that was healing by itself. So, my little boss, I'm very, very grateful. So I'm very happy to be back. And there's so much that has happened that we all need to do. And I know that with our collective will, we'll do much more for our country.
You heard from the Vice President, Professor Nana Jane Opoku Ejimine. Moving on, the Managing Director of Metro Mass Transit, Godwin Nyako, has disclosed that the previous New Patriotic Party government left behind a staggering 125 million in liabilities. Alongside the financial burden, the company also inherited numerous damaged and scrapped buses, further exacerbating operational challenges. The condition of the buses has likely impacted the company's ability to provide efficient services. He highlights that the Metro Mass Transit may need to implement cost-cutting measures or seek additional funding to address the liabilities. Meanwhile, the administration may need to provide financial assistance or support to help the company recover.
I like the part you said there's a more argument that, look, development is in the hands of the state. Yeah. So that's true. But mining companies do a lot in their communities. You go to some communities and the schools there, the hospitals there are run by mining companies. You understand? So, you know, the mining company cannot do everything. I mean, like you said, when the royalties are paid, they are supposed to return some to their host communities and the district assemblies and the palaces to use for development. The question we ask is, are they being used for that development? For example, if there's a 1 kilometer road in town and there's a whole assembly that gets mineral royalties, I mean, why would the assembly go back to go?
So other stories, the acting chief executive officer of the Ghana Chamber of Mines emphasizes that mining has been a significant driver of Ghana's economic growth, contributing substantially to the country's development. However, he noted that mining communities remain underdeveloped despite the sector's contributions. He emphasized that despite the sector's contributions, mining communities continue to face development challenges, highlighting a disconnect between the sector's economic benefit and local development. Meanwhile, the Ghana Chamber of Mines assured to promote sustainable mining practices that benefit both the industry and local communities, emphasizes transparency, good governance and corporate citizenship, implementing policies that prioritizes local content and community development. They believe it will help address the underdevelopment of mining community.
And say, come and do the road for me. Go for the reason and did a road in the. I like the part you said there's a more argument that, look, development is in the hands of the state. Yeah. So that's true. But mining companies do a lot in their communities. You go to some communities and the schools there, the hospitals there are run by mining companies. You understand? So, you know, the mining company cannot do everything. I mean, like you said, when the royalties are paid, they are supposed to return some to their host communities and the district assemblies and the palaces to use for development. The question we ask is, are they being used for that development? For example, if there's a 1 kilometer road in town and there's a whole assembly that gets mineral royalties, I mean, why would the assembly go back to Go Flows and say, come and do the road for me? Go Flows did a road in the over 33 kilometer road that they did. They did it for the community. Everybody's using it. And we are saying that. So that's why we're also asking for a law, you see, an act or a law that would regulate the utilization of mineral royalties. We know that there's one in the Petroleum Revenue Management. Yeah. Why can't we do something for mining? For Mineral Revenue Management Act or law that would specify what you can use mineral royalties for. So that when it comes back to the community or the host assembly, they don't use it to pay salaries or recurrent expenditure. For instance, if the law stipulates that, look, mineral royalties can be used for only health, education, and sanitation or whatever, then when it comes, you are bound by law to use it for. Otherwise, it goes to the community and nobody knows where it enters. If you look at Obuasi, with Obuasi itself, with the company there, I think a lot of royalties are supposed to come back. The question is, do they come back? And if they do, what are they being used for? So the question will ask of the mining companies, but also be asked about the development authorities. And let's see that how we can work together and make sure that the mining, the royalties are targeted. Otherwise, you will complain and complain that the communities are not developed. And one thing is over town and country planning. Like Ahafo, like other places, you know, if the town is not properly planned, it's not the job of the mining company to make the street straight or to build skyscrapers. No, mineral revenue stay in Accra. There was a recent study that says that 80% of mineral revenues are in the center. They're in Accra. And that's where they used to develop the whole of Ghana. So Ghana is developing on the back of mining. But for mining, Ghana will not be where we are. So if you single out a local community and you blame the mining company in that community, well, you might have a point, but you also have to blame the people responsible for development. What are they using the mineral royalties for? That come back, whether in the state level or the local level. What do you use it for? Then we can have a better picture and say that, okay, maybe the revenue going back is small. Should we increase it? Should we tie it to specific projects? And that's why we think should be done.
In related news, the Ghana Chamber of Mines Acting Chief Executive Officer Ahmed has announced that approximately 42% of employees in mining firms are indigenous people. This significant representation is attributed to a policy requiring mining companies to prioritize hiring from host communities. According to him, prioritizing local hires leads to improved living standards and economic growth in host communities. This policy, he said, demonstrates the mining industry commitment to social responsibility and community engagement.
Mining companies do their best. Indigenous, local employment, what we call local employment. You've heard the phrase before. Local is people from within the local community. So once you are a local person, you're Ghanaian, and you are from Ahafo, Kenya, say, PDM, Kenya's number 1, number 2, then you are local, you are from the community. So that's the employer. They give them contracts, they give them a lot of things to do. And even the employees within the company itself, about 42% are Ghanaians. Local people. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Newmont and other companies, almost around the 40-45% are locals. And sometimes they even have to train the people. They take them to apprenticeships, and then once you are qualified, then they will employ those they can employ. And those that are not employable by the company, they are given certificates of competency to also go out and look for jobs. So every mining company employs indigenous. There's no way you can work in the community without employing the people. No, it's gone were the days where mining started. People were not mining oriented. So we didn't have the capacity or the human resource. But now we do have a lot of people who can work on the mines. And majority of them come from the local community. But you can't say that every employee 100% should come from the local. Otherwise, people in Accra also say the same. That I'm a Ghan, I need to, only Ghans should be employed. That also, it doesn't set a good precedent. But you employ majority as much as you can from the community. And the contracts are also given to community. Look, haulage, all catering, all security, all kinds of things are given to locals just to empower them. So there's a deliberate policy to bring the mines to the local community.
In politics, former Minister of State at the Office of the President, Catherine Afeko, has expressed confidence that the new Patriotic Party will recover from its current challenges. Despite the National Democratic Congress' current hold on power, Afeko noted that politics is cyclical, implying that the MPP's fortunes can change. Afeko believes the new Patriotic Party will bounce back from its current situation. She emphasized that political power can shift, suggesting the new Patriotic Party's return to power is possible. The former Minister of State underscores the new Patriotic Party's determination to regain power, emphasizing the party's resilience and cyclical nature of politics.
I would be on the class. The NDC was not in office. They were home for 8 years and way before. So it's nothing new, but it will take time. You can't just brush it under the carpet. This is real. It's like grief. You've lost something and you have to allow people to grieve. And then when they have healed, you quickly come back together. And that is the stage we are. We need to come back together, close ranks, and diminish the blame game. For me, that is what I can say with all humility, that, and especially us women, we console, we bring people together, and we use our experiences to get people on board. MPP is not like in tatters. It's a party at a crossroads, but we will bounce back. You can mark it, we will bounce back. We have to have that kind of faith and fervor that, yes, NDC is in power. They have goodwill now. But remember, it's a cycle. No party stays in power forever. So they have to keep this in mind, that we have to be very calm, very united, get back to the drawing board, do the competition, because competition is part and parcel of democracy.
Yeah.
And whenever we are done with the competition, quickly close ranks and have a formidable, united front.
In business, Ghana's total public debt stock has inched up marginally to 49.5 billion as of March 2025, according to the latest data from the Bank of Ghana. This is a slight uptick from 49.4 billion in February. The marginal increase comes despite the local currency's strong appreciation against the US dollar. In cedis terms, the debt stood at 769.4 billion, up from 768.1 billion, and represents 55% of gross domestic product. The external component of the debt stock rose from 440.1 billion to 442.5 billion. Notably, there was a decrease in the domestic component of the debt stock, falling from 328 billion to 326.9 billion, and could be because of the government's mixed appetite for treasury bill issuance. The contribution of both the external debt and domestic debt to GDP was 31.6% and 23.4% respectively. The local currency is set to its strongest performance against its major trading currencies, an impressive turnaround from the sharp depreciation trends seen in recent years, and marks an all-time high in percentage terms. It has appreciated by 24.1% against the US dollar, which is 16.2% against the British pound, and 14.1% against the euro, according to the latest data by the Bank of Ghana. Per May 2025 Summary of Economic and Financial Data, the cedi is currently trading at around 11 cedi 85 to the dollar, which was before 15.84 to the British pound and 13.34 to the euros. Still on business news, the local currency has set to its strongest performance against its major trading currencies. This is an impressive turnaround from the sharp depreciation trends seen in recent years and marks an all-time high percentage terms. It has appreciated by 24.1% against the US dollar, 16.2% against the British pound, and 14.1% against the euros, according to the latest data by the Bank of Ghana. Now, the government and central bank attribute the rally to a mix of fiscal tightening, improved gold reserves, and sound economic policies. Consumers and import-dependent businesses, particularly in fuel, food, and automobile sectors, anticipate further strengthening of the cedi, but economists caution that the cedi's gains must be viewed with measured optimism. They point to factors such as continued fiscal discipline and inflation control to tame any volatility and support private sector recovery. On the back of this, the industry stakeholders are also renewing calls for a review of the current import duty regime. They argue that such a move, combined with a strong currency, could help create a more favorable pricing environment for buyers. The appreciation reflects a combination of factors, including prudent monetary policy, improved market sentiment, and external sector gains. Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Asiyama, said. Meanwhile, the Ghana's total public debt stock has edged up marginally to 49.5 billion as of March 2025. This is a slight uptick from 49.4 billion recorded in February. In cedi terms, the debt stood at 769.4 billion and represents 55% of gross domestic product. The external component of the debt stock also rose from 768.1 billion to 769.4 billion. Notably, there was a decrease in the domestic component of the debt stock, falling from 328 billion to 326.9 billion. To sports, the Ghana Football Association (GFA) has officially announced the cessation of all negotiations with Star Times regarding the renewal of their media broadcast rights agreement as of March 2025. This announcement follows the conclusion of the previous broadcast contract at the end of the 2023-2024 football season. While both parties engaged in discussions amid and extending the partnership, they were ultimately unable to reach a consensus on the terms for renewal. In light of this, the Ghana Football Association has formally informed Star Times of the termination of talks and is now pursuing recovery of an outstanding debt totaling 842,173.36 owned by Star Times under the previous agreement. The association has retained legal representatives and initiated formal proceedings to ensure the repayment of this amount. Same on sports news, Kumasi Asante Kotoko Sporting Club head coach Abdul Karim Zito has admitted that playing Bibiani Gold Stars away from home increases the level of difficulty for his team to grab a win. He said this in the lead up to the crunch game scheduled for Sunday, May 25th at Gold Stars Dawn Park that has fourth-ranked Kotoko take on second-ranked Gold Stars in a straight battle for either club to stay in contention to win the 2024-2025 Ghana Premier League title. Since taking over head coaching duties at Kotoko, the Porcupine Warriors have 2 wins in 3 league games in a run that includes a goalless draw against Arc Revivals, Accra Heart of Oak. Speaking in a pre-game interview with Kotoko Media, Zito admitted that beating Gold Stars in Bibiani is a difficult task. The approach will be very serious, but we should admit it. We are going to meet one of the best teams in the league on Sunday. They are very good and they have more advantages by playing at home, so it doubles our task in meeting them. So we are preparing towards that, Zito said. In showbiz, American-based Ghanaian filmmaker and director Leila Jiwo JC has bemoaned a trend where churches reward pastors with gifts, salaries and cars, whilst church members are expected to be rewarded in heaven. In a post on her Facebook page, Leila described this situation as a monetization of Christianity and the exploitation of church workers. So the church expects its workers to receive their reward in heaven, whilst the pastor receives his reward here on earth. Salary gifts, the pastor's appreciation with houses and cars, the mother of all scams, she wrote. She expressed worry over the church's use of grace theology to keep believers in bondage through spiritual blackmail and called for a more practical approach to faith. I don't know why God is not performing Old Testament gymnastics and has brought this grace that is being used to keep his children in bondage through spiritual blackmail, she said. Very soon we will stay home, read our Bibles, and take our tithes straight to hospitals and orphanages where they might actually do God's work, she added. This monetization of the gospel is exhausting and pimping Jesus for profit, Leila stated. However, in the comment section of her post, she urged Christians not to give up serving God, advising them to do it willingly and not expect a reward. She reminded Christians that serving in the church is not a guarantee for blessing. Rather, they should trust God for his blessings. Serving is serving, not a transaction. You can serve in the church for years and see no reward, and people who have never cleaned a church will send their children to Harvard. I have witnessed both. How God chooses to bless anyone is not in our control and is none of our business. Our job is to trust and obey, the filmmaker stressed. And that's how we end it on the morning news broadcast. My name is Deborah Adolso. As usual, don't forget to log on to www.GhanaTalksRadio.com, as well as logging on to all streaming platforms at GhanaTalksRadio.com for more news updates. Do have a good morning.
day to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond. Partner with Ghana Talks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With Ghana Talks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. Ghana Talks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. Ghana Talks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast. French fries.
Koko Nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
Wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare,
Regina Bless,
Deborah Adoso,
and I am Esinam Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion.
Yeah, on Facebook and on X. So yeah, that is it. But Essie, you seem a bit tired today. Why?
I do.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I was working throughout the night. I didn't.
Oh, okay. Which kind of work?
I was editing.
Are you sure?
Oh yes, I was editing.
Okay.
I was editing.
Where?
In the house.
Your house?
Yes.
Okay.
For mine. You are looking for trouble for me.
No, I'm not looking for.
But it's not going to work.
Doctor's lie.
Yes.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you, please?
We are doing well. How are you too?
I'm good.
Okay. Last week we didn't see you.
Yeah, something came up, so my colleague has to step in.
Yeah, and he did brilliantly well.
Yeah. I think he did hypertension, right?
Yeah, he did hypertension. So
I hope I don't know whether the audience are following what we are doing because all are related.
Yeah.
Yes. I think last week was very engaging very interactive.
Hypertension is a broad topic, so
people are really engaging. Yeah. I actually found out that me myself I might be having hypertension.
He told me about it. I think he said check and he also
was so he reported everything to you.
Yeah.
Nice.
Is it to check on my people?
Yeah. Him especially. Yeah.
Computer, you don't sleep.
Yes, he doesn't sleep.
I don't.
Why don't you? You can't sleep or you don't sleep. There's a big difference.
Yeah.
I think it's both. I can't sleep. I won't even sleep.
No.
I get engaged in so many things that it limits my sleep.
So you have to limit those things so that you can sleep. Me, for example, I want to sleep.
Yeah.
I just put the phone away. I'll just sleep.
Mine is not fun. Like, I can just be laying down doing nothing and I still won't sleep.
Really?
Yeah.
Then you need to come to an end so that we check it. Because since your BP was 140, right?
Yeah, 144.
And is it normal?
It's not normal. It's not normal.
On my way.
It's not normal at all. It's not normal at all.
So I need to check on that. And, yeah. But then, Doc, this one, what do you have for us?
This morning we'll be talking about diabetes. There's also a
That's another yes.
Yeah.
We are talking about diabetes, how to control it, how to prevent it, what brings about diabetes, and the most effective way to treat it, if possible.
That's if possible.
Yes,
but
if possible.
Is it actually possible to treat diabetes? Like, should I say treat it, or is it possible
prevent it,
to cure it?
In some cases, with some people, we can cure it, but not mostly it's chronic diseases.
Okay.
Mostly like the hypertensions, but we find out that some people it might go by itself when they are on treatment. It just goes by itself.
Okay.
But mostly it is chronic conditions. But when you find it early, that's where we can manage it for you and also cure it for you.
Okay. Okay. Essie.
Yes, dear.
What is diabetes?
Doctor, what is diabetes?
This morning,
Mario wants to be on me.
He just wants to worry you. When you say diabetes, it's not something that it's not a disease that someone will hear it and just panic. It's just that when diabetes is when your insulin level is not able to process your glucose.
Your what?
Your insulin level. The insulin is a hormone that is produced by the pancreas.
Whoa.
And this insulin help break down sugar, that's the glucose, into energy.
Okay.
And this happens when you have a problem with the insulin production, so that it cannot even break down your glucose into energy.
Wow.
That's where the sugar is stored in the blood. That's where come out diabetes.
Yeah. Okay. So diabetes basically means your sugar not being able to break down
your glucose, your insulin level not able to break down your glucose into energy. Yes.
Okay.
And they end up being in the bloodstreams. So that's where diabetes comes.
That's when diabetes comes up.
That's where you describe it as diabetes. Yes. Not when it comes up, but we describe it as diabetes.
Okay. Yeah. But how exactly does diabetes affect the human body?
It does in many ways. When your blood glucose is high, it affects some of the organs in your body, and sometimes it also leads to blood visions. You cannot see clearly. Yes, you cannot see clearly.
Really?
Sometimes to polyuria. That's frequent urine.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. Frequent urine. You just be urinating within a space of 10 minutes. Every 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
Wow.
Like an hour, you urinate like 4 times.
I thought it was only is it prostrate? Prostrate you pee.
What about the females who urinate urine? They don't have prostrate.
Wow.
They don't have prostrate. Female doesn't have prostrate.
And this urine, is it that you will be alerted to, or it just comes, you'll be there and then by the time you realize?
No. You feel it. You just rush to the washroom, then you do it yourself.
Wow.
And sometimes you hunger for test. Yes. That's polydipsia. Like you want to drink more water, taking more water at a frequent.
I thought it was a good thing.
No, is it drinking the
water? How different is that one from the normal test for water?
That one, they meant you like as if you take clean water right now.
Yeah.
Within some 5 minutes, you just fill for another water.
What?
So within a space of maybe say 1 hour, you might finish like almost like 6 to 8 bottles.
And it's not good.
That's a symptom of the diabetes. Do you understand? Yes. That's a symptom of diabetes. And sometimes we describe your erectile dysfunction for a meal. Yes. you cannot be perform well at night.
Hey.
Yeah.
So it means that if you are taking in water too much, you need to
check your diabetes.
Wow.
You need to check your diabetes.
Wow.
You need to check your diabetes.
Is it? You see, sometimes when you are thirsty, your belly is full.
Yeah.
But still, you are thirsty.
Yeah, it happens. You see, those kind of people, you have to check your sugar to find out whether you have diabetes or not, or your blood glucose level is high or not. You know, sometimes some people blood sugar can rise, but they are not diabetic.
Okay.
It just rise. So you just have to have the machine with you or check regularly with you if you are experiencing this kind of symptoms.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Since we are on the symptoms, then take us through the symptoms of diabetes. Then.
That's why, as I said, you hunger for taste, frequent urine. Then sometimes too you feel blurred vision. You cannot see very clearly.
Okay.
And with the meals, it disrupt their meal function.
Okay.
You cannot perform well at night. Cannot perform well at night. Cannot perform well at night. And sometimes you feel burning sensation in your legs and your palms. And when you have a wound, it becomes difficult to heal.
Wow.
And you have this kind of rashes, kind of rashes on your skin sometimes.
Wow. Let me look at my skin. But Doc, is there different types of diabetes, or diabetes is diabetes?
We have different type of diabetes. We have 3 type of diabetes.
Wow.
That is a type 1 diabetes. This is where your body fights your pancreatic cells so that they cannot be able to perform secret insulin. And this one, is really diagnosed early at birth. That one, your autoimmune system is fighting against your pancreatic cells. So that one, if you have this type of type 1 diabetes, you have to be on artificial insulin for life.
Wow.
Yeah, because your body cannot your pancreas cannot produce enough insulin. So you have to give you artificial insulin where we inject into your body to break down starch into glucose. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So there is no cure for
that one. There's nothing like cure. You have to be on artificial insulin, because if you don't be on artificial insulin, definitely you have a high blood sugar.
Wow.
And we have the type 2 diabetes that is related to insulin resistance. That's where our lifestyle comes inside, and how we treat our body. Yes, sometimes we overeat. We eat at night, and people with people who are obese, like obesity people, yes, with fatty body and those stuff. And it doesn't mean that people with fatty body are prone to diabetic. No, you can have someone slim like also having diabetic. Yes, it doesn't matter here. And we have the gestational diabetes. That's where it happens during pregnancy, when there's hormonal balances during pregnancy.
Wow.
Yes, but that one, it goes by itself. But if as a pregnant woman you have the gestational diabetes and you don't treat it carefully, this is a situation where it might lead to type 2 diabetes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So which one is the common one we are facing?
That one is the type 2 diabetes related to lifestyle.
What are some of the lifestyles?
Eating at night. If you say eating at night, what food are you eating at night?
So it depends on the food you are eating.
And so carbohydrate, the sugar is mainly like carbohydrate. Carbohydrate break down into starch, and starch is to what's it called, glucose. Yeah. So when you eat more of carbohydrate diet at night, and it stores in your body, where the insulin resistance, the carbohydrate you are taking in, or the starchy food that you are taking is more than what your insulin can produce. That's where the diabetes can be. You understand? So you are taking more food or more starchy food than what your pancreatic produce insulin can digest into glucose.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that is it.
And time will come, not even eat again.
Oh, you have to eat, but you have to check. If you check that you know that no, you don't have, that's where you have to eat in balance, like balanced food.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to eat. You have to make sure that what you are eating is good for your health.
Okay.
You have to make sure what you are eating is good for your health. With the type 2 diabetes, it can be preventable.
Okay.
It can be cured to if diagnosed early. It can be cured to if diagnosed early.
What are some of the other causes of diabetes aside
the diet and alcohol intake? You know, with hypertension, I hope my colleague mentioned alcohol, and with cardiovascular disease too, I mentioned alcohol. Yes, so alcohol and weight. When you have like you gain too much weight, that's obesity. Obesity, I talk about it in cardiovascular disease, and I'm sure too my colleague talk about it in hypertension. All these kind of things leads to these diseases: hypertension, cardiovascular diseases, and diabetes.
Wow.
Do you understand?
Wow.
Yes. And sometimes too, if you are stressed under too much stress, I talk about stress in cardiovascular disease, and also stress will come in hypertension, and it's also in diabetes.
Wow.
So too much stress, I don't want anybody to experience too much stress. That will lead to diabetes. So stress is also part of it.
Okay.
Yes, stress is also part of it.
But then, could diabetes be hereditary as well? Like, can you inherit it from maybe a parent, or probably sometimes it's in the blood or a family line or something?
Yes, it can be hereditary, because sometimes your parent might be having it. But it doesn't mean when your parents have it, you might also be having it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it can be prevented.
Okay.
What in a way can it be prevented? You know that your parents have diabetes. So as a young age, maybe around 12 years, your parents told you that they have diabetes, or you know that they have diabetes. You have to know that it is likely that you can get it in the future. So you have to start your diet very carefully. You have to make sure that you eat balanced diet. You have to make sure that what you take in will not lead to diabetes as your parents are having it. Some people too, when their parents are having it, they don't care. They think that it cannot happen to me, so they begin to live their lifestyle anyhow. Because if your parents have it, maybe your mother and your father has it, or even your mother has it, you cannot live a lifestyle as someone who parent does not have diabetes. You need to be very careful with your diet. You need to make sure you eat early. You need to make sure your carbohydrate intake is very low. So it can be hereditary, but the hereditary, I won't always say that it is 100% that transfer from parent to the children. It can be prevented when you know that your parent has it.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
What are some of the things you are doing to prevent yourself
from getting diabetes? I think with regards to me not taking alcohol, I need to watch how I eat, including
no
the time.
carbohydrates, including the
well,
time.
with the carbohydrates,
it looks like every day
they eat kenke at 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. and there are two ladies here, and I know two other gentlemen here. That's all they eat.
Is the late eating early is fine. When you eat early, it will prevent you from getting what's it called, ulcer. So when you fast too much, that's where the ulcer. We talk about it as a topic on its own. So eating early, I recommend that everybody eat early, but the late eating at night is where the problem comes in. Yes. Breakfast is very good for the body.
Even though it's carbohydrate.
It's fine. It's fine. You can eat early.
We are justifying it.
But when you have the diabetes, that's where you have to make sure that
you need to watch it.
As we are talking right now, her partner is moving around looking for carbohydrates. Yeah, I know that is okay. But sometimes you can just look at a person, the lifestyle they live and all, and you can say, oh, this person is living a healthy life and all that. You can also look at someone and allege or have the concern of something or some disease they might find themselves into. Does that happen in the case of diabetes? Like you can see someone and you be like, this person is at risk of having diabetes.
Yes, that's what the obesity can mean.
Okay.
But if someone is too much obese, that's where you can know that this person. You might not know because you have to use a machine to test to verify whether the person has diabetes or not. But with what you are asking me, with the appearance, when the person is too much obese, you have to know that go and check your sugar. Maybe you might be having diabetes. When the person is experiencing too much frequent urine, that is the polyuria. They can notify that no, this person might be having diabetes. Or when the person is too anger for test, that's where the person drinks water within a space of 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You can know that no, this person might be having diabetes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's fair. Doc, let's look at some of the ways one can diagnose diabetes. Let's say I'm in a remote area where my access to advanced equipment are not that easily achieved. How can I diagnose diabetes?
Diabetes diagnosis just easy. You just have to go to the clinic or a pharmacy or where they test for diabetes. That is the sugar. You cannot say sugar is diabetes, but just say where they test for your sugar. Yes. So we have a machine called glucometer. I bought some here, so I want to show it to.
Then you
to the
test
public.
us.
Yeah, I'll test you if you
I've already been tested.
She's lying. Test it.
This is how it is. And with this machine, when it is high, it will show you to indicate with red. When it is okay, it will indicate with the green light.
It comes with a needle.
Yes, it comes with a needle and the test strips.
If you are going to test, you insert needle.
I've already been tested.
No, you insert needle, you insert the strip inside, and you just prick you.
It's still needle.
So you use the glucometer test to verify whether you have diabetes or not. And we have HB1C test. That's where you test regularly within your space of eating. Yes. And that one too can also help determine your sugar level, whether you have it or not. Yes. So the glucometer is what we use to test to verify whether you have diabetes or not. Yes.
Wow.
And with this one, you can test in any pharmacy or.
Yes, any pharmacy, any community hospital, or anyone who has it.
Wow. But you have you realized that Ghanaians as a people, we don't really care about these things. Like, who wakes up one day and say, "Let me go and check my sugar. Let me go and check my."
It's advisable to check at least.
But see,
twice in a year if you don't have.
It's not really like a big deal. For
No,
exactly. If you take 100 people, if you take 100 people, 5 people.
Yeah.
Someone might be living 5 years without even testing.
And those people, they do it when they feel sick.
Or when you feel sick, they do it. We do it for you because we have to.
We
have to do it for you. No.
Like they are just there and then voluntarily they are like, I need to go and check this.
So when you get sick, the first thing that we have to do is to check your BP and your sugar. To verify if you don't have this kind of disease. Yes.
Now, what are some of the long-term implications, the health implications of diabetes if it's not really attended to?
Diabetes can affect your organs. It can lead to cardiovascular diseases, as I said in our topic. It can also lead to nerve pain. Nerve pain, that is neuropathy. You'll be feeling pains in your nerves throughout your legs, your hands, and everything. And it can lead to kidney failure.
Wow.
Diabetes. Yes. Diabetes is a dangerous disease. You see, some people even fear diabetes more than HIV. And I went to that. It's even deadly more than HIV. So you have to be afraid. With diabetes and hypertension, it's more dangerous. You understand? So, but if you are on controlled diet or on drug, that one is perfect. You don't have to fear anything. And also, it can also lead to this kind of dysfunction of the male organ. That's what I said. Yes. It can also
the females, they don't have any.
Or the female, they don't have any. But you know, with diabetes, if you have a female has diabetes and maybe he has she got pregnant with complications setting, sometimes might lead to transfer to the baby.
Wow.
Yes. So it has a whole lot of complications with the females also. And leads to blurred vision. That's as I said earlier on. You cannot see clearly with your eyes. Sometimes your heart want to brew. And it's how
So what causes it to the extent that when you are injured, like it keeps longer period before you get healed?
Yes, with diabetes, that's how it works. Because you are producing more sugar than what the body needs. When you get cuts, it becomes very, very difficult to heal because the blood cannot even make sure you have enough oxygen and other nutrients to make the wound heal because of the high blood sugar.
Sure.
So with sugar, people are advised that if you have sugar, you need to make sure that you don't have any cut or any wound on yourself, because when you have a severe cut, sometimes it might be a scratch, that is fine. But if you have a severe cut, yes, that's where it becomes difficult to heal. And you know, I don't know whether you heard about people having diabetes and they are leg have been amputated
Yes,
because
yes,
of that.
their hands and all.
And their hands,
Lots
yes,
of
sometimes their hands,
Is it
their
that
legs.
it spreads or
No, you see,
because it's unable to heal? So
you have the diabetes already,
yes.
and you have the wound. The diabetes and the wound is a different case altogether. The wound is not able to heal. The wound not healing will lead to amputation of your leg because your veins or your body where the wound is will just die off. The cells will just die off.
So like
will
it
just
won't
spread.
function again.
Yes, it's not the sugar that is spreading, but the wound that is the dead cells that will be spreading to other part of your body.
So if you don't cut it off, it will just keep
spreading throughout your
Wow.
body, and your leg will be cut off. or your
It's
hand.
actually
Anywhere.
more deadly than.
It's more deadly. It's more deadly. It's more deadly. And it's stressful. It puts stress on you when you have it. You have to manage your diet. You have to make sure you don't eat more than what your body needs. You have to make sure you check regularly to make sure that it's high or too low. You understand? And sometimes the stress that comes in may also be another
A whole
issue or
different
level.
issue. Bringing you
Because you cannot eat what
hypertension
you
and
want.
all.
Yes, you cannot eat what you want. You are always worried, and you also fear that when you have a cat, it might not even go. That fear also has a different meaning. Yeah. But I also fear that you are always careful with your life. You understand? Yes.
Okay. Doc, how can diabetes be prevented in the first place? Like, so that I don't even get into.
As I said, the type 1 diabetes is not how like someone they are born with it because the autoimmune, your body is fighting against your pancreatic cells. With the type 2 diabetes, that's where it can be prevented.
Okay.
That's where you need to make sure you watch your diet very, 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 very well, and you avoid smoking, avoid alcohol, avoid too much take of carbohydrate food at night.
Okay.
You need to make sure that you exercise regularly. Just make sure you exercise. Don't gain too much weight on your body. If you are there and you know that you are gaining too much weight within a year or 2 years, make sure that you do something about it. Yes, make sure that you do something about it.
So how can you manage it?
Yeah, if you have it, you just put you on diabetes drugs. Yes, we just put on diabetes drugs. Then you'll be checking regularly. With time, you'll be checking, and you have to check fasting. That's when you've not eaten. After fasting, that's where you've eaten, to make sure we know the exact number that you are having. When you check, there's a number that comes. That make sure that we know that it is high or low.
Okay.
So we need to make sure we check regularly, and we need to make sure that we put on balanced diet plan. If you're having diabetes, you put on balanced diet plan. You don't eat too much carbohydrate food.
Okay.
As it is, yes.
Okay.
And I advise that someone always you have to exercise. If you have diabetes, you have to make sure you exercise.
Exercise a lot.
Yes. You have to
What are
exercise.
some of the what types of exercise would you recommend? Jogging is one.
Jogging is one, or walking. Those who know most of these diseases previously it was normally the old people were those having it, but now the young guys so if you can exercise, just do the normal exercise. But if you are older, you cannot exercise, and treat that you walk much more, do more of walking exercise, because you cannot skip, you cannot do running, you cannot do this rigorous exercise. So you just have to make sure you take a long distance walk, maybe from 5 to 6. You take a long distance walk and come back home, and in the morning to do the same thing. When you come back home, that will also help regulate your sugar, so that you don't get a high number where there will be complications.
Doc, before we leave you to go, we know today you have so many patients to look at. So what would be your last words, your advice to we as a people?
Yes, my advice is that
diabetes.
No, a lot of people are living with diabetes and they don't know. So I will treat everybody to get tested.
Okay.
Just
like
make
I'm
sure.
about to do today.
Yes, we will do it for you. We will check for you.
He
Don't panic or don't fear. You see,
This
is
is
best.
No, I'm not scared.
Then
You see,
we'll do it
I did it
together.
this year.
This year when?
when I was going to school, they do medical examination.
You need to do it frequently.
No problem.
Yeah, you need to do it frequently.
Please, I'm scared.
No, not frequently. I think if you don't have, you have to. Intervals is fine. Just at least 3 times a year. It's okay.
Okay.
So, and with our issues this relating to the hypertension, diabetes, it is better to know than not knowing.
Okay.
You understand? If you have something, it's better to know than not knowing. If you know, that's where you know that you know. Now you have accepted that you have this. So this is what you are doing. But if you don't know and you are just living with it, that's where complications come in. Sometimes some people might come and it might be too late. We can't do anything about it. Do you understand? And to go out say, buy anything, but also no more judge now. Like what else do you want us to do again?
I get it.
You understand? So it's better than knowing than not knowing.
Yeah.
So if you get tested early and we know, that's where we can make sure we manage it. If it's preventable, we can just prevent it for you. I've had a case where the patient came to us 18 points.
What?
Yeah, the sugar was very, very high. So I was like, you don't have it. He said, yeah, he doesn't have it. So
that could have actually led it
to diabetes. So I didn't start the drugs for her.
Wow.
I just managed with the diet and exercise, but it's just prevented. It just went off. Like the patient didn't get any diabetes issues.
Okay.
Yes. So it's better than knowing than not knowing. So please come and get tested and know your sugar level.
Ignorance is not an excuse.
All right. That is where we will be drawing the curtain for your health matters on Ghana Talks Breakfast Show this morning with Dr. Sylvester Mens. He is of Glen Home Health. Glen Home Health is still active. You need to get in touch with them wherever you are. With whatever issues you have regarding your health, you just call them. They are just a call or a text away from attending to you freely. That's the most amazing part of it. They attend to you freely without any cost. So get in touch with Glen Home Health, and yes, you will be sorted out with your health. Dr. Sly.
Yes. Let me put our numbers out
because
some of them are they don't know, they are new to the system. So if you want to contact Glen Home Health, 050 158 9408, 050 158 9408, 020 488 2003, 020 488 2003. Okay, that's our contact.
That is their contact. So call them, text them, and yes, they will attend to you wherever you are. Thank you for making time with that. But stay tuned. We will be coming your way very soon with the second segment of the Breakfast Show.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with Ghana Talks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With Ghana Talks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. Ghana Talks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. Ghana Talks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
Hello Ghana, hello worldwide. I'm level band. Now listen, every Tuesday and Friday, beyond the time it's going to carry Brell. Our Ghana Talks Radio, 7 p.m. sharp. Now Tuesday, we're gonna talk about our culture, our history. Matuni ding setete abako sem. Now on a Friday, you bars on bars. You better rap, you better say it. No artists go join me in the studio. We're gonna discuss about music and business. Konya, or you singer, and now you rapper, you think say you get bars. You go be spit fire. Now listen, make you join me with studios. Our Ghana Talks Radio, and yes, say out in our day. Me say download the Ghana Talks Radio app, no, our Play Store and the App Store. No tune in, and say this is what you see, but live on Facebook, Cointakra, any Ghana Talks Radio page, and so now listen, about your fire, 1 year, Konya, Wadding, Jajan.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries.
Koko Nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
Wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare,
Regina Bless,
Deborah Adoso,
and I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with Ghana Talks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With Ghana Talks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. Ghana Talks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. Ghana Talks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
Ghana Talks Radio, UK, Abrichimemu, era from Ghana Muha at the sound system, which is spinning machine papa, a free amana never be good among Ghana Muha. It is a year, we engagement, we wedding, we birthday party. Political parties are more rally, some way, more crusade. So we'll book carnival or any kind of event. Now we'll pay spinning machine papa a boss sound in the moon at the dia any may come for GTR sounds at the MAO. Your live band in so our tones at the frame ye beat me about the bois. Ama would you media woody and so at me I come up. Yawa enkan pupuni mantemo anya aponchi hotel a hope pepe ena yebutu odi anse wo be frɛ mpanifo ɛwɔ 0546960510 GTR sounds emu ode angaza.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries.
Koko Nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
Wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare,
Regina Bless,
Deborah Adoso,
and I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion.
This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion. We are back again on your airwaves. That was the first segment with Dr. Sly from Glen Home Health. He brought us the health matters with us. He spoke about diabetes today. I hope you listened and I hope you paid attention. You are going to pay critical attention to the food you eat, the time you eat these foods, and also some little changes in your body. Whatever changes that you meet in your body, make sure you pay attention to it. Check regularly on yourself. Any clinic, in a pharmacy, in a hospital around you. Your health is your wealth. your health is your wealth. Yes, this is where we bring you the second segment of the show, where we delve into the social topics in the country, some political stance, some social activities that we can actually delve into with some insightful guests. And yes, we have our able regular NPP First Con KNUST treasurer in our midst, Maxwell Marco Max. How be Max?
Everything is fine. Everything is fine so far.
Sorry, last Tuesday you were here. We spoke a bit about a few things. Today too you are here. So far so good. From start time now BC and we've seen some things go on in the country, right?
Oh, yes.
There were times that they mentioned the vice president was
they even pronounced him dead.
Dead and all that.
By some Ghanaians.
Yesterday she came back.
Yeah, she was in the country.
How? What do you make of that? Your
Mm.
party was instigating of impeaching the president if he travels again, because there was no vice president anymore. Now that the vice president is in,
Yeah.
president in the field
Let's get everything right here.
Okay.
Okay. According to the constitution, we use the constitution to impeach people. Yeah, and the president, they brought out a proposal for the president to be impeached because he wasn't in the country. The vice president was in the country. Speaker, he is the third in command. He also wasn't in the country. Also, the chief justice is also being petitioned. So due to all these four things, the president wasn't allowed to even move out of the country since the chief justice wasn't around. The speaker of parliament also wasn't around. And the president has no right to even go out since the vice president wasn't around. So it wasn't deliberate thing, but rather it was according to the constitution.
So it wasn't like your people intentionally wanted to impeach the president, but you just wanted to go according to the law.
The law remains the law. The law is the law.
The law is the law. Okay. But it's good news that she's in, right?
Yeah, we thank God. We thank God that still she's alive. Everything is going on well.
Okay.
Yeah, and she's back to her duty.
Okay.
We won't wish anybody's death. No, MPP, we are not like that. So we really thank God that she's alive and she's back in the country to execute her duties.
Okay, all right. But one other thing. The vice president so far, 4 to 5 months in office, have you really seen her, action or something? Her contribution so far?
Not
or
at
you
all.
think it's too early to?
No. Let me get back to Fourth Republic since 2000s. I think Bawumia remains the only vice president who has been in the news. Me and you can bear to that fact. Before vice president, you didn't hear much about him.
Okay.
Mel was vice president, you didn't hear much about him. Later becoming the president when Mel died. Even Nana Junupokwa Juma, you still don't hear much about him. Bawumia still remains the outstanding vice president of the country. We can't undermine that fact. Bawumia still remains the outstanding vice president of the country. The vice president, after being elected into office, rating his work out of 10. I'll give him maybe 1 because he accepted to be the vice president. But I don't really see any form of duty he has performed since he has been a vice president.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. But you see, if you say Bawumia remains the how do I even put
outstanding,
it? Outstanding vice president. Outstanding as in is it that he's just been loud being in the news, or he's been productive, he's been contributive to the growth of this?
Outstanding comes with a lot of facts.
Okay, so in Bawumia's stance, how do you contextualize
let me use this term. He has been the most popular vice president based on his contribution towards the growth of government.
Really?
Yeah, that's how I put it.
Based on his contribution towards the growth of this government. Are you sure, Max?
Oh, yes.
Okay, let's get into a few things here with what you just said. Bawumia, before coming into power as a vice president, he was actually brought into power to manage the economy. The president then said that for him, he has no idea about how to manage an economy. So he's bringing someone who is an economical wizard, economic, so many things, economic Ronaldinho and all that stuff, to manage the economy of the affairs of the country. The economy then, one of the figures or the metrics of the economy was the CD to dollar rate, which was 3 cedis 80 pesos then. Now with economic wizard in power, managing the affairs, which we just stated that his contribution to the growth and development of this country, he took it from 3.8 to 17 cedis.
Yeah,
that is one aspect of it.
Sure.
When it comes to inflation, he took it from, I think, was it 14 point something? You let's 14.7. Yeah, 14.7 to 54%. That is the economic wizard.
Sure.
Okay, you still want me to continue?
Oh yeah, you
I
can
should
continue.
say more.
If you wish to say more. Let's
It's
continue.
okay.
Let's get back with this CD to dollar ratio. I think that's our first topic we're about to discuss today. So I think I'll emphasize more about that when we get to the topic.
Okay.
Aside the economy, always information about meaning economy. Aside the economy, you also play a lot of crucial fact. You also play a crucial part in the government. Let's come to the drone delivery medicine. All these things. Ghanaian don't mention about it when talking about the drone sending medicine to rural areas. Do you know that all these things were still
the e-gate that is yet to function.
It's still functional. During that time it wasn't functional, but it's functional. You can even cross check. There are some evidence about foreigners praising Bawumia for his e-gate policy.
For his e-gate policy.
Yeah.
That one is different from what
we are talking about the vice president's initiative. So let and some judge and everything, we will get there. It's also part.
Okay.
So let's follow what's step by step. So we shouldn't, with the economy and I think we will definitely get there. That's our first topic.
Okay.
But Ghanaians shouldn't forget the fact that Bawumia, if you mention Bawumia, not only economy, he also play a lot of crucial facts.
In what?
In the economy,
see,
in the growth,
when
it comes to health. Okay.
We can actually only judge him by what he was brought in power to do.
But he did extra things. That's the reason why I say that, and that one is there. But let's also include some additional things he did to improve the government. I don't even know whether you get my statement. That one is there. Let's also include what he did extra to improve the economy and also the growth of Ghana.
But with what he was actually brought on board to do you think he delivered?
That's our first topic. So we will definitely.
But it's not okay.
That's our first topic.
okay, that's fine. Yeah, we have our NDC compatriot join us in the studio in the person of Prince Kuma. Prince. How be?
We do.
You are back here with your man.
Yeah, my senior.
You are my senior. Mr. Prince.
But I hope everything is fine.
Yeah. Mahama is doing well. God is also taking care of us. So
okay.
Everything is fine.
Yeah. And some few weeks ago we realized or learned in the news how the vice president was being almost mentioned dead and all. God being so good, yesterday we saw her arrive in the country. Yeah. So how refreshing is that to your party and your administration?
I think it's more than refreshing because she's our first vice president as a country, and it would have been a very bad news should anything otherwise had happened.
Okay.
So I was so happy seeing her yesterday, and I want to commend the former vice president, for the message he put out there. I think that, although he's not adding anything to her life, but I think it's a good, gesture from the former vice president Mahmoud Bawumia.
Sure.
And that should tell you that politics, should traverse some borders, should go beyond some borders.
Yeah.
When it comes to issues of health. So I was actually shocked seeing on social media people pronouncing her dead. You may dislike her, you can even say she's incompetent. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem you say Mahama or Prof. Jane is incompetent. I don't have a problem.
Okay.
But to pronounce someone's dead, knowing well whether she's not dead, I think was far below the belt. But the most important thing is that she's back and very strong. You are going to see the work getting started.
Okay.
She's not a populist. She will not go and be launching programs that you cannot track them. So there's a difference between being popular and being productive.
Okay.
Shatawale is one of the popular artists in Ghana. A difference between Shatawale and Burna Boy getting the work done and going to the ground. There's a difference between that. So launching programs, it doesn't make you productive.
Okay, all right. But so far, how would you rate or rank her as a vice president? I mean, I don't know if you were following the show on your way or you heard Maswell, but Maswell rated her 1% out of 10.
Okay.
How would you rate her?
So first off, the question: what is the role of a vice president? It supports the president, right?
Okay.
Dr. Bawumia claim he did some things. He cannot verify.
Okay.
He will later come and tell you that as a vice president, he doesn't take decision. He doesn't implement policies.
Okay.
So if a vice president does not implement policies, how did he implement drones? It's no longer Akufo-Addo. It's not Akufo-Addo who is the president, executive president.
Yeah.
So who gave him the approval? Who gave him the instruction?
Okay.
You came and told us that you can manage our city very well.
Yeah.
In fact, as at April 2017, 17th April, Bawumia claimed credit for the city appreciation. When the city fell, Bawumia said, it's no longer me. When you go to cabinet as a vice president, I only have 1 vote, so I cannot do anything. I want the steer. So all of a sudden, Bawumia is doing some things that a president should have done. But when it comes to the negative side, so he's not doing it. The vice president has just started. The vice president is committed to getting the work done, reflecting the lives of Ghanaians. It's not about coming out on TV, organizing lectures in universities. No. The most important thing that has the lives of Ghanaians been changing. Okay. That's what Ghanaians want. As to whether you're allowed in the media, it's not the same thing. There are MPs in parliament. Go and check their constituencies, right? They are doing so well. They have established funds for people, brilliant but needy students. There are some too who are allowed in parliament, but if you go to their constituency, nothing is happening. So I would prefer an MP who will get their work done at the constituency than somebody who is only knowledgeable and know how to present issues in parliament and doesn't get the work done on the ground.
Okay.
So I would prefer Professor Jane that will get the work done than Bawumia that will come and claim credit over positives.
Okay.
And then impose the negatives on his boss. Thank you.
Thank you. That was Prince. Yeah. So we have our two major heavyweights, political parties representatives in the studio with us, Prince and Maxwell. Now, before we get into the main conversations today, over the course of the week, we've seen a decongestion exercise go on. We've seen the Accra Mayor in collaboration with AMA and also part of it, the Accra Regional Minister, in an exercise to decongest Accra, getting the traders and vendors off unauthorized places where they are selling in the city, making the city quite unpleasant for pedestrians and also tourists and all that. It's a commendable exercise, I will say. We thank the mayor for what he has brought on board. We thank the AMA, the regional minister, and all involved in this exercise that they are undertaking. But then, these are our concerns as a people. This is not the first time we are seeing a decongestion exercise in the city. It has happened over and over again. What shows or what is going to be different this time around? The public suggestion to the mayor and to the regional minister is this: just as they did with the onion sellers at Aboblushi, it would have been more convenient if they've provided these people a marketplace or a site for them to relocate to before getting them off the streets. Because yes, indeed, what they are doing is quite unlawful and uncivilized and all. But then also, as a people, as humans, we need to consider the state in which they are in. This is the hassle they put on ground to feed themselves and to survive. So if they had been provided with a place to move to, it would have been a much better in the exercise of this decongestion. We are not downplaying what the mayor is doing or the regional minister herself is partaking on, but then this is our concern, because one of the things that we have realized over the years is some few days, some few months, some few weeks later, we'll see these people come back here right from where we sack them from. And it happens. It has happened. That happened. We know it will happen again if they are not provided a place to go and settle, to sell their goods. So please, there's a brief concern and suggestion to the authorities involved in this decongestion exercise that yes, it is a good exercise you are putting across. We commend you on that, but we plead with you that you help secure a place for these people to relocate to, because it is not as easy as we say it to be. Even after they've been sacked, though they are not coming to the market, we still see their goods packed and wrapped there. That means they don't have any place to go. And this is what brings them back to that same place to sell. So if we are going to have a different result from all that we've been having over the past years, let's do something different this time around. Yes, we've learned of the task forces to be reintroduced and all. It is a good initiative, but it is only going to be a battle of a banter if we don't find a place to relocate these people to. So a humble plea. The market people, we are pleading on their behalf, if the mayor and the regional minister can actually do something about this thing to find a place for them to relocate, just as they did with the Abobloshi market people. Let's try and do same for these people. And with that, if they come back there, we know that we can forcefully hold them to frivolous or punishable acts. But until then, yes, they are being unlawful, they are being uncivilized. These are great measures undertaken by the mayor and the regional minister. Let's also extend it to trying to find a place to help them settle so that they can move on with their livelihood. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Madam Regional Minister. Now, gentlemen, we are back into the studios once again. Last week we were here, this year we are here back again to discuss some few issues. And one of the issues we are going to talk about, as Maxwell mentioned, is I don't even know why Max wants us to. Well, maybe Maxwell is really prepared on these things. But Max, yes, the CD appreciation, your the city appreciation, your former flag bearer.
My former flag bearer.
Yes, and our former vice president.
Able vice.
Able vice president. Well, whatever name you want to accord him with, it is welcome.
Sure.
He says that this is not backed by any magical policy by the NDC in power. I mean, they are only enjoying the fruits from the seeds planted by the former administration. And so, yes, even though the city is appreciating, there's not something we can really laugh about or applaud the NDC for. Most of the credit needs to be given to the NPP, because they are the people who put in places measures to make sure what we are seeing now happens. Is this true?
Oh, okay.
And even yesterday, before you answer this, your communications director, Ahiabra, was on a platform saying that what we need is not even a CD appreciation and all that. So,
okay, sure. Let me start with what our vice president said. Let me quote what he said.
Our former vice president.
Former vice president, His Excellency. I think it was one of his thank yous to at London. Yeah, he stated that. Okay, let me read from Joy News. The NPP 2024 flag bearer insists that NDC government has not implemented a policy that could contribute to the currency performance.
Okay.
So let's get it wrong. He emphasized that the NDC has not deliberately bring out a policy that has increased or led to the appreciation of what the city. So he was much interested in what a policy that NDC has brought on board that has increased and led to the appreciation of the city. Okay. Speaking during interaction with the Young Executive Forum that's in London as part of the thank you tour in UK, the former Deputy Bank of Ghana governor challenged the basis of his claim. if you are to ask NDC to point out exactly what policy they have implemented, that has resulted in the appreciation. So he was challenging the NDC to bring out policy that they think that they have brought on board that has increased or led to the appreciation of the city. Yeah, that was what he said. He didn't back it with either MPP or NDC. He was much interested in the policy that NDC has brought on board. That has led to the appreciation of the city. So let's get him right. Yeah, he wasn't emphasizing on MPP or NDC, but he was much interested in what the policy that NDC people have brought on board that has increased or led to the appreciation of the city. And I think Sami Jefi also commented about Terry police. I was even thinking about him bringing a gold board. He wasn't talking about that. So since I have my brother Prince Kuma here, I would like him to give me one or two deliberate policy that they think that they have brought on board that has been able to lead to the appreciation of the city. And I think the policy should be clear enough for a layman Ghanaian to understand. Maybe we brought gold for oil, we are going to trade in this and this will lead to the increase. We brought this and this. Since you are still claiming and you want to take all their remarks, he was his much interested was in the policy that and the NDC has brought. He wasn't much affected with them taking the praises and everything. He was much if you wanted to take the praise, that's not a big problem. But tell us the deliberate policy that you have brought on board that you think that within the past 4 months you are in office, whereby now we are not doing this. And even if you continue to read the statement, he said that when NDC came to power, they have, let me read that please so that you get it for. I think Omari usually wants facts over.
Yeah, for me, I actually deal with facts, so I'm glad that you are coming with your facts. And I know Prince will also release his facts. Because Prince, today it seems Maxwell is leaving everything on your neck.
They are claiming they are the one behind it. So we aren't against you guys whether you are behind or you are not behind. But if you are behind, you need to prove it to us. Prove it in a such that it will be very clear for a layman Ghanaian who is not much interested in politics to be able to say, hey, and this about by and when on my hand, you get me? Brilliant. Yeah. So I'm not against whether you did or you did not, but just prove it to us that the way because as at now, government haven't released any money for any expenditure. We undertaking projects. Everything hasn't been implemented. He also, His Excellency, the Vice President, former Vice President, added that the NDC government hasn't released all these funds, but we won't go much into this. The topic was about a policy that NDC think that they have brought on board
to back the
so I would like you to point out about 2 or 3 since
they are claiming the credit.
Since Sami Jefi even pointed out 3, but I wanted you to bring out, tell us more, let it be very clear to us for a layman Ghanaian who is not much interested in politics to get more about it, Mr. Prince. I'm just hoping that I want to even know the policy that you think that NDC buy within first month you say. I don't even know whether you get me, Mr. Prince.
First off, before I go into that, let me assume you've not done anything. What do you think is the cause of the appreciation?
We are not taking any praise.
No. I'm just asking you.
Let me get right.
Because you are quoting our party members. Your party members say it's US-China trade war. It's gold reserves. So what do you think is the...
Mr. Mali,
can the just appreciate?
You coming?
No, actually, so I want to understand that.
He was training a question for me.
Appreciating
he was training a question for me.
Yes.
All right.
What do you think
the people of Ghanaian told us that we have failed to manage the cedi to dollar ratio. Get me right.
But were they right or wrong?
That's for a Ghanaian. Each and everyone has its own choice. So they claim that we have. So if we have failed to manage,
17 cedis is better.
So if we have, no, I'm not saying it's better. So if we have failed, Ghanaians have given you the mandate. We aren't against you guys. Do you get my? If we don't have a policy,
Ghanaians. I'm saying that if we can't name a policy, it means that we are not doing anything in that regard. So what do you think is the cause?
Let me get you right there. Let me get you. But Omia claimed that the NDC has no policy. He didn't talk about MPP did this, MPP did that.
I'm not saying you do. What is the cause of the clear appreciation?
We don't know. So that's the reason why we are giving it that. That's why if you are taking the credit, then try and give us the policy. Do you get me? This isn't a big deal.
Wow.
You are claiming.
I see. I'm not surprised. This is coming from MPP communicator. You see, It is utterly perfidious, very deceitful for Dr. Bawumia to make such an assertion.
Okay.
At least that NDC government should mention name one policy. I mean, Dr. Bawumia, despite he being an incompetent economist, we still credit him with some level of intelligence because he's very good when it comes to book knowledge. Okay. But so I didn't expect this coming. I didn't expect him to make such a comment. You see, I think we need to, Mr. Omari, we need to organize a national forum. Okay. We invite MPP members, MPP national executives, then Dr. Bawumia to come. Okay. I will expect that you don't interrupt me. To come and define what a policy is to Ghanaians. Okay. Because they seem to have succeeded in creating a certain narrative out there that policy means name. Okay. So per the MPP's logic, when we say a policy is that which has a name and mostly has free attached to it. Okay. Once they hear free, it's policy. So that is why MPP always engage in naming ceremony or sloganeering spree. So when they come to power, they start with one village, one dam, one district, one factory, one constituency, $1 million. NAPCO, you start, youth in afforestation, planting for food and jobs. They will even go and say phase 1, phase 2. Okay. Do you understand? Yes. We're in for food and jobs. But the question is, how is it impacting the lives of Ghanaians? Okay. That's the question you should be asking yourself. You see, policy in this simple terms, it's a strategic purposive course of action, right? Simply in the very essence to either address a social problem, that's solve a social problem, or to exploit opportunities that will improve the standard of living of your people. Okay. So it's not in the name, it's the action you're taking. Okay. Mr. Margon, we say a policy. Yeah. An act of parliament is in a policy. Even president, executive order of imposing curfew on Boko is a policy. So I don't understand when it comes to the MPP logic or what a policy is. Anybody that have done a bit of policy must have come across a fundamentals policy or definition or popular definition by Thomas Dye. Okay. That whatever government chooses to do or not to do. So government decision that I will not do even anything is a policy. Okay. Strategic action is not a name. So you can decide to name it. Let me tell you the difference between MPP and NDC. If Mahama said I'm building 200 schools, senior high schools, my first term, I didn't say he built all the 200 schools. Did you hear Mahama say Agenda 200? MPP will tell you that it's not a policy because Mahama didn't name Agenda 200. Okay. Does the name change what he's doing? But he, the MP, will come and tell Agenda 111. Do you understand the difference now?
I'm following.
Or if Mahama said I'm building 16 regional hospitals, that's an example. MPP man will say it's not a policy because he didn't say Agenda 16. So they are so much particular about the names, not the impact. But policy is not about the name, it's about how it is reflecting the lives of Ghanaians. Okay. Now, Bawumia said that we are not spending. That's what he just said. Okay. That Bawumia, please say, I respect you so much. Don't do that. You are educated. People are out there. When you say government is not spending, government decision not to spend, as is so clean, it itself constitutes a fiscal policy direction. What is the fiscal policy? What is it about? Either you are increasing your revenue, cutting expenditure, or increasing your expenditure. So if you tell me that government is not spending, meaning that government decision not to spend within a stipulated time frame in itself constitutes a policy direction. So when we say we should name one policy, it's just like telling me that since you don't mention it, it's not about the action, it's about the name. Yeah. Does the name change the impact on Ghanaians? No, it's about the action. Okay. So that about what he said, he doesn't even understand what a policy is. Most of the MPP guys, they don't understand what the policy is. Okay. They think policy is a name. If you tell me they are not spending, I'm telling you that reducing spending is a fiscal policy direction. Okay. It doesn't need a name. Okay. Now, he just mentioned about 3 things about me. Sami Janfi said, and you know he said that he didn't mention a name. Yeah. So what they want is a name. Now, the city, they're so clean. Yeah. Most of them are citing US-China trade war, gold reserves has been the propellers of the current city appreciation we are facing or we are seeing. And then I think it's in a desperate attempt to just to discount this current government efforts in that, appreciation regard. But what we are simply doing is that, look, as we speak, our city is the world's best performing currency, according to Bloomberg. Because in April alone, it appreciated against the dollar by 16%. Depreciation against the dollar by 16%. But look at the dollar throughout this decline period. It has depreciated on weighted average at 2%. Wow. On weighted average means that overall depreciation against a basket of currencies. So if the dollar is depreciating against other currencies on average 2%, but you are doing 17% as you speak, it should tell you that there is something unique about that country. You don't tell me you are not doing anything. What Sami Jenfise said, their policies, MPP, they just one name, so I will help them today. One, first of all, what we did was that we did more forex liquidity, more dollars coming in. So what do? We need to export more gold. So you realize that from January to April 2024, MPP did about 8.78 tons exports. As we speak today, we have exported about 31 tons. Our export earnings.
That's from when to when?
January to April this year alone. That is how come today as we speak, our export earning is at $2.7 billion. You can check. You can check for them. $2.7 billion. To make sure there is high forex liquidity in the country. I know exchange rate stability is primarily a function of demand and supply of forex. So once you have more forex into your country, you expect that there will be the city that's chasing the dollar. There will not be shortage. So meaning that the dollar wouldn't go high. It's simple as that. Simplicity. Now you want Sami Jenfise to force it. To account to Ghanaians, we are doing gold for forex. So they want that name or gold export for forex. Does the name change what they are doing? Because what Sami Jenfise and the gold board is doing simply is that we are exporting gold. We have more dollars to our country. So they could have just named it gold export for forex. You just want a name. You said we should name. I'm helping you today. Second thing that, please relax. Second thing that we are doing is the bank of, I'm telling you, policies that we have so far implemented.
You continue after that. You have mentioned, you have mentioned about two.
Oh, please relax.
Continue.
I'm telling you that policy is an action. It's not a name.
Sure, I
decide to name it. So not having a name does not mean the policy.
Okay, you continue.
So I've created even a name, gold export for forex.
You have created it for them.
Yes, so to help them because they are very good. They are so fixated on naming ceremony. Now, Bank of Ghana today is doing strategic monetary policy intervention. Do you know how we saw the unprecedented appreciation in April? Because the Bank of Ghana injected about $490 million into our market. That is how come you saw the appreciation. So the Bank of Ghana is doing that timely policy intervention out there. We talk about finance ministry. It's in charge of government fiscal policies, fiscal policy consolidation, making sure that strategically you reduce certain expenditures. So if you tell me government is not spending that much, that is even untrue. He just said that government is not spending. What is the basic government expenditure? If you take every budget, you have revenue expenditure. The first item you see is compensation of employees. Please, for the last 4 months, has anyone complained to you that they have not been paid?
Well, the Farm D people are still crying.
Public sector workers said the Farm D.
Farm D, they are complaining.
Relax. Were you paying them? Government, listen, I'm not saying government shouldn't pay them. Relax. It's just like you work for 8 months, right? You never receive a salary. In fact, there's this daughter on Twitter, Dr. George. I literally want government to pay it right now. But it's not like government has been paying them and this government came and stopped. That's the difference. I'm saying that the teachers that used to pay when we came, or the nurses or the civil servants, have we stopped paying them? Have we stopped? No. So government is still spending. They are telling me government is not spending. You see, when Bawumia talk, they just run with it. When we came, as at February 17, didn't the government of Ghana, right, pay an amount of 6.081 billion to domestic debt exchange program bondholders? Didn't we pay that one? Is it not spending? Government went on to even set aside 9 billion to prepare for the other payments. It's not spending. In that budget, he's so clear we are not spending. Having seen allocation, he said you are not spending. Do you know what you mean by spending? Policies have already started. Government is doing disbursements. The policy, the budget presented by Arthur Forsen, right? You go and do mid-year budget again. Mean that you revise even your plans for the whole year, right? In that budget, haven't we made allocations for spending? You have seen that today as we speak, 51.3 million have been allocated as a seed fund to the Women's Development Bank. Haven't you seen that 499.8 million has been allocated for no fee stress? Haven't you seen that as I speak today, 292.4 million has been allocated for the free sanitary pad? Haven't you seen that as I speak, 3.5 billion unprecedented allocation to free senior high school has been made? You are telling me you are not spending. Where is that logic coming from? So please, the MPP should stop. The dollar today we are seeing deliberate politics by government. And I told you, policy is not a name. It's a course of action, a plan, policy in itself. If you decide that today, MPP are saying, Anka MPP from Kwan Eko School and Eko School, Anka Ghana, Kameton, Burkina Faso. Do you know why? You decided in your life that you will not pay course, and IPA is a policy. Okay. So I don't know where they go to their school. They want name. So you want Sami Danfi to come and say gold export of forest. So that one you'll be fine. Okay. Does that change what they are doing? When you came, do you know what they did? Gold for forest, gold for oil, gold for reserve. These are the three things they did. Now the reserve they so claim. I don't have a problem. The reserve is a fact. If you check the Bank of Ghana website, you realize that as of December 2024, our total reserve was at 30.53. As we speak today, as at April 2025, our reserves stood at or is still at 31.37. If you check the difference, it's 0.84. Sure. We have not sold any reserves. No, the reserves are still there. But the question I've been asking is that if you have about 30.53 reserves, but you couldn't appreciate your currency, then Mahama, Sami Janfi, and Ato Forsen said no. We need to make sure that we expedite gold export. And do you know what today we are going to do? You see, gold board is not even in its full swing. Gold board is doing that much. If you get to that full swing, they will run and leave this country. Because you know why? Currently, as we speak, even Bloomberg has predicted that at the end of this year, we are expecting about $12 billion from gold exports alone. That's from small scale mining. Because gold board is supposed to buy from small scale. Large scale, they export their gold, but government have reached an agreement with them to buy 20% of their produce. Now, do you know why? Because we are now going to regulate the gold trading sector. At first, they were smuggling gold. They were smuggling gold, parking them some of them as reserves.
That's an allegation.
You let him come. Have you seen the 17th April 2023?
Let me come.
The documentary by Al Jazeera.
You have your time.
Relax. We speak on facts. Did you see the documentary by Al Jazeera on 17th April 2023?
The one the NPP
said
they will sue the.
So gold smuggling was on the rise. So if you are smuggling gold, you go and pack some of reserves, and you come back to create inflation by printing more money. Ask yourself why we had more reserves backing our currency, but our cedi was still depreciating. You printed money, created inflation, so you had more cedi in the system, more currencies or cedi in circulation. Once you do that, people have more money on them. They are willing to spend more. People have more money on them. When they go to that Abuchi, no matter the price given them for the dollar, they will still pay. This is simple economics. So you created inflation by printing more money. When you did your gold for forex, gold for oil, your central bank, Bank of Ghana, posted a loss. So MPP should stop what they are doing. We know what they did. Today, as we speak, Sami Janfi goal was to make sure that today government wants to make sure we have a dedicated institution that will deal with gold smuggling. Do you know dealing with gold smuggling and what they can do to the country? No. We will have not less than $2.5 billion. Because if you read the essay report for 2021, Africa Center for Energy Policy, it says that Ghana loses about $5 billion in tax revenue to gold smuggling alone. The recent one by UK government, September 2024, said that Ghana, we lost about $2.3 billion to gold smuggling alone. Clearly telling that this is just a money in short of 700 million of what we went to IMF for. So if you could deal with gold smuggling alone, Mr. Omar, means that indirectly you should get not less than $2 billion. So by dealing with gold smuggling, that's Gold Board with its inspectors, and a task force. You realize that recently they arrested some people for that. Sure. So meaning that today we are going to regulate the unfragmented, right, unregulated, unstructured gold trading sector to deal with gold smuggling and buy more gold, export it, and Gold Board is expected to bring every week $250 million. Wow. So they have a dollar account at the Bank of Ghana. When they export it, they give it to the Bank of Ghana. The Bank of Ghana will circulate it through commercial banks. It's simple as that. So the MPP,
we are looking at $1 billion every month.
$250 million
every week.
Every week.
So in a month we are making $1 billion.
Yes.
Wow.
And it's that simple. I just told you the amount we lost in gold smuggling alone, and the amount that we are still losing because of what they did. Today, we are going to seal the loopholes. Today, if you are no longer a licensed gold board, trader, you cannot go and buy gold. A foreigner cannot come and buy gold. If you want to buy the gold, you go to Gold Board. Gold Board will buy it for you, ship it to wherever you want. That is what we are doing. So these are the deliberate government policies. One, the gold export by Gold Board, which they want us to name it
gold
as
export,
though
gold export by Gold Board.
What we're doing and coming. Go for oil. What was it about?
But
I take my raw gold.
Let me come
I take my raw gold.
Let me come in 1 minute. So you.
I will let you continue.
Before I come in.
You come in.
Yeah. I wanted to add something. So he conclude before I come in. Okay. You are talking about the gold board we implemented being a back policy. Do you know when the gold board was being established and when it was implemented?
Gold board was established.
Do you know the gold board? Do you know when it was established and implemented?
No.
You can go on the phone.
No.
It was established on April and it was implemented on 1st May. So if you are using that one as your so you add that one, the gold board isn't a main I don't know whether you are getting the fat I'm joining. If you get it, add it to whatever you want to say. Then after that, then I will come in.
So he said in April, right? That we export gold as a country.
And
right?
First May was when it was
relax.
Okay.
Before gold board came into power, it's very simple question. Very simple question. Before gold board came into power, which institution was exporting gold in the country? That's a simple question I'm asking you. Government of Ghana was still exporting gold. PMC was buying gold. Is that true or not? Was Bank of Ghana buying gold and exporting or not?
Yeah, they were.
So what are you talking about?
You continue whatever you want to say.
So
the gold board policy is different from Bank of Ghana and everything. The gold board policy states that no foreigner under any circumstance can come into the country and buy gold. No individual, if you want to buy any gold, if you want to trade any gold with Ghana and another country, it has to pass through
the gold export.
You threw a question to me, then I want to. So the policy says that under no circumstance can a foreigner come to the country and buy gold. If you want to buy gold or you want to trade gold within Ghana and another foreign country, it needs to pass through the gold board. Yeah. So if you are trying to say that was the government buying, that one was the past. Now we are thinking about the gold board that you are claiming is the backbone of the Sicily appreciation. So if you want to use
gold only is the backbone.
So no, on your first policy of conclusion, you stated that the gold board trading the gold board. That's when I'm trying to chip in that if you are trying to say the gold board, that one doesn't really count.
So I want to ask a simple question.
Yeah, so get your facts well when talking.
It's not about facts.
So you
please relax. It's not about facts. We all know when gold parliament approved it, their bill. It's trite knowledge. Was Sami Jamfi working or not as PMMC? Is that not the case? So PMMC, what is it now? It's still there. We have a gold board. Now, relax. Bank of Ghana just telling me that Bank of Ghana was called GCB. Bank of Ghana became Bank of Ghana means that because Bank of Ghana became Bank of Ghana in April, it's not Bank of Ghana that was exporting the gold in January.
But
look at that logic.
Let me come.
No.
I usually get
you are saying that. Oh, I'm coming.
So between January and April, which institution was exporting gold for Ghana?
It was still there since Parliament hasn't been approved.
No, relax.
It was still the old way we used to sell our gold. Yeah. If Parliament hasn't approved, there won't be any circumstance that you can tell me that this policy was still there, but it wasn't being named as the gold the gold board policy.
I'm saying that.
Get your facts.
It's not about facts. I'm saying that between January and April, which institution was exporting gold?
It was still as it's supposed to be the PMMC and the Bank of Ghana. As they used to sell gold in the past government, it was still the same until the introduction of the gold board policy.
PMMC, what was it? Who was the CEO?
We had the acting CEO to be Sami Jamfi.
Senior,
let me get
because their problem is that what we wanted to do with the PMC different is that now gold board is the sole buyer of gold in the country, sole exporter. That's for small scale, right? And you want to buy gold, come and buy from them. That's the amendment we have done. So it's not like what PMC is to do, that even foreigners can buy. They can go and buy from other regulators or foreigners. So if you are telling me that because the bill was passed in April, meaning that PMC that was working, Sami Jamfi was the CEO, I just asked a simple question. PMC, who was the acting CEO? As at January, February, March.
Oh, it still remains Sami Jamfi, acting CEO.
So is the work that PMC was doing that buying gold? Is it gold board? Is gold board doing the same thing now?
Okay, so if the masses should get you right, PMC, which was in charge of our gold forexing, has amended some things to make it a gold board.
Yes.
So all the gold trade which was happening before gold board was still implemented or initiated was made under PMMC. So it doesn't mean Sami wasn't working or the gold forex wasn't going on. It was just going on, but not under the implementation of the gold bond.
Because the name, Parliament has to approve the name.
The name before. Okay, all right. I
Oh,
get you.
let me come in. So you are trying to tell us that the policy and everything was there, but the name wasn't there. That's the course of action.
Because
was there.
it has to be established as an act of Parliament.
Yeah, has always been there.
Has always been there. There isn't the first time.
Yeah.
So you trying their actions and everything was still there, but this gold board policy that was when it gives the PMMC the mandate to sell goods only within Ghana and other foreign country. You should get that one right. So if the PMMC, it's a gold board policy that gives the PMMC the right to sell. To sell gold. So if you are trying to tell me that there was something there,
gold board doesn't give PMC how to sell good. No, no.
The gold board policy.
No.
We read the gold board policy.
I've read it.
The gold board policy says that under no circumstance can a foreigner come and sell or come and take
foreigner or PMC.
Let me get you right.
Okay, if I'm getting Maxwell right,
yes.
Maxwell wants to know about. Mas, should we make
let me. If you are saying that before the PMMC, Sami Jemfi was still working, dealing with the gold and everything, can you really tell us the course of action that he did that you think that because for now we all know that one of the major policy remains the gold board. The gold board which we state that no foreigner can come.
Gold export.
So the gold export was that. So what was the gold export about? Was it the same as the previous government or is still different?
But gold export.
Because
relax.
We all know that. Oh, let me come when he was talking. I interfere.
Please, let me clear this.
But
what I said was an unprecedented gold board.
The time.
You came in. No, you have your time.
Senior,
you have your
I said that unprecedented gold export. Look, meaning that we are looking at the magnitude of gold export.
You have your time.
I just showed you the amount of gold he exported, 8.78 tons within a certain period. So wasn't that a gold export? And I'm telling you that within that same period of yours, we are doing about 31 tons. So the export that you did, we have done like almost times 3 of that.
Okay.
So it doesn't mean that I said we were not exporting gold.
Okay.
And I'm telling you that it was unprecedented gold export. Meaning that we have done more exports. That's why you had more liquidity of forex.
Okay.
Does that mean that you were not exporting gold?
So
we're exporting gold.
Fine. So the first policy remains what? So the first we stay the first policy.
I told you that
I didn't say but
I told you that we exported about about $2.7 billion.
So gold exports and one. Okay.
Yeah.
And what again?
So we didn't listen. Fiscal consolidation by the finance ministry, policy intervention. That's monetary policy intervention by Bank of Ghana. April, right? 2025. They injected $490 million into the economy of Ghana. Okay. You can check that.
Okay. Let me take it from there. I think it's now that you really understand His Excellency, the former Vice President.
Oh, I thank God.
Okay, you started saying that policy remains what a course of action. I want you to get that one right. Policy still remains the course of action. And we are talking about first stating that the gold exports is one of the factor that led to the city appreciation, right? You should also know that the government trying to preserve more gold still remains a policy that has what lead to the.
But no one has said policy.
So since you came to government, then there wasn't gold reserve. It means that automatically the city appreciation wouldn't have been there now.
But you had gold reserve. And
no, let me.
I'm coming.
Let me get you. Let me let you understand.
Okay.
You are trying to say that one, because there was a lot of gold exports, you were able to export some. That's one of the reasons why the city is performing. Do you get that right? You are in 4 months old in government. A lot of gold was reserved. The reservation of gold still remains a course of action by the previous government. So, and under no circumstance can you say that you are so responsible for the city appreciation. Still, MPP has a role. Still, MPP played a role. We reserve some of the gold.
See, this I want to clear.
After reserving
gold reserve, please. You know what they are doing? He had reserves to be 30.53. Has the reserve reduced?
No.
Has it reduced?
No, it has. They still have the reserves there. And that's what I actually want to find out from the NDC here. The reserves are still there.
Reserve that you have at the Bank of England is not the one you are exporting. What is that?
Okay.
You have reserves.
Okay,
common sense. Who are reserves 30.53 tons? Our Bank of England, right? And AFI reserves now one. I increase that for 31.37. Then I just say you have to be so. That be common sense. Yeah, o ton gold da. O fa bit say me fa we reserve. Na ma ko ton we. Oti reserve no. O dey keep you say for international trade. One might be our reserve, or no be business or you more. I know you're on the cotton only back to currency. Now on your cotton. And Cassa say reserve chair say, but we have gold and not to. And now we move for cotton.
Oh, okay. I get you that. I get you.
You stated one thing that I wanted you to retreat about. You stating that the previous government, which still remains MPP, was indeed into gold smuggling, which you can't even state back. That one at Ajuda was still allegation, which the MPP sued them. So, and that
everybody didn't sue them.
They sued them.
Oh,
please.
Nanado
instructed that they retract. They
started that they retract, but under no circumstance has court pronounced that we are still find guilty of gold smuggling.
But nobody took you to.
He's still.
You were rather threatening to take them to court.
You know what it means for a media house to tell our president that somebody to allege our president, he was a lawyer then. That was his lawyer. And that we are all involved in gold smuggling. A president of a country, they are lying. Al Jazeera is lying. What do? Do you know the embarrassment? Do you know the disgrace you have brought on the country? What do? Somebody is telling you that you are fueling, you are supporting. You know your government is helping gold smuggling. What should you do? You know you are not involved. By telling them that we retract or apologize, is the first step. I understand. But since they have refused to do, what do you do?
I'll take them on.
You will take them on. But why has President Akufo-Addo failed to do that?
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. Max.
Yeah.
So has he answered your questions?
So I think his main focus was about the gold exports, right? The gold export.
I mentioned 3 things. So you see how
gold,
they are.
The gold exports.
So you are still not satisfied with the answer he gave you.
But they want names. That's why I said that.
They mentioned the gold export. The fiscal
consolidation by finance ministry.
So if you are still emphasizing about this, then we are hoping that we still export more than this.
We are going to export more.
We will definitely get back with time.
Okay.
Yes, they want the city to depreciate.
But
we are
not. But is it going to be sustainable?
Yeah, it's going to sustainable.
We are not against anyone. We all want the better of the country.
If you ask the communication officer said,
he said
what we want to see that
what
individual, but we are
the ones to your party. You will not. They will not panel you again.
It's not. You don't get it right.
Individual.
Not individual.
Okay, but Prince, are you sure this is sustainable?
It's sustainable. So I want even. I'm sure it's reducing. At some point, we have to maintain it. We have to contain as a fixed rate. Okay. So that the dollar will be sold at a fixed. If you don't do that, market does the predictions. So once it depreciates at a faster rate, people cannot reduce the price to reflect the depreciation. They may reduce it, but it will not reflect because people should be rest assured that I'm trading at this rate, right? And you know prices, the economists will tell us that they are upward, being flexible, but downward sticky. That's why traders hesitate
to reduce their prices.
They don't hesitate to increase, but then when it comes to reducing, there's a problem. So for me, I'm sure in the coming maybe 3 weeks time, we will see the CD being stable, stable in terms of its appreciation, so that Ghanaians can appreciate what we are doing and also reduce their prices in that regard. But when it's depreciating to some extent, I don't think it's going to help us. So appreciating at a faster rate. Sometimes it's good that you stay at one point.
Once we are still on the gold board issue and all that, you see the licensing issue where
termination of.
Yes, and also the right people who are supposed to trade in this gold market needs to get a license from Gold Board and all. This license has been, they gave a deadline, they gave a deadline. They've given it again. What is causing the delay in this thing? Is it from the traders or is from Gold Board?
As in the issuing of licenses.
License deadline.
So yes, extended. We have extended it.
Yes, you've extended it.
All right. So Sami Jamfi is saying that before the Gold Board came in, PMC was issuing licenses. The Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources was even issuing licenses upon the advice of Minerals Commission. So you have been received licenses from somebody. I cannot just come and say that no, the license is no longer in effect. No, you cannot buy gold any longer. I have to give you time to prepare, right, and come for another license. So there must be a transition, and I think that some people too are looking at whether they want to continue with such business or not. For some of them, the license given, if you look at the requirements in the Gold Board Act, senior, you have levels to the licenses. You have levels, aggregators. who needs to get on to gold? Who is a gold board thing?
Yeah.
So some people may want to even come together.
Okay.
So people who I think will be talking. Sometimes we want to give them ample time so that no one will come and tell us that when they came, they took our licenses away. But at the end of the day, you're going to work with Ghanaians, not foreigners.
Sure.
Today we want to build a Ghanaian businessman.
Okay.
So that's why Gold Board wants to make sure that it's only Ghanaians that can buy gold from Ghana, no foreigners.
Okay.
Like somebody will come and do and maybe be sharing with some people and they will capture them in Al Jazeera. Yeah.
Okay. Mas, are you okay with that?
With a data extension?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's still some negotiation going on between the PMMC and those who are having their licenses. I think when it's been resolved. Okay. But we are just hoping it's been resolved since they claim that the good board policy is one that's back in the city. So if it's been resolved, we are just hoping that everything
yeah. And then we'll be looking at $1 billion into the coffers of the country every month because 250 million every week. Hey, challenge. And yes, more you.
Senior, on the gold back over.
Let's
go.
Hey,
senior.
Let's see how it goes.
And the reason why you cannot smuggle is that you see what Gold Board is doing. It's smart too. First, if you are into money laundering, you say always capan, they have money. So when you leave it like that, everybody should buy at the price they want. When you come to Maxwell that you are buying an ounce of gold, let me say in cities, just as an example, 100 cities. Means I will come 80 cities. Some of those money laundering guys or those are smuggling gold, they don't pay taxes.
Okay.
So because they don't pay tax, me that I'm going to pay the tax now with the license now. Me I will buy 80 because I know I will pay taxes on it.
Okay.
But you the one who will smuggle it, will not even buy it at the 80. You buy 100. So Maxwell is a rational being. We will sell it at the 100 cities. You will smuggle it that way. That's why the gold smuggling was up like that.
Okay.
So now there's a fixed price.
Okay.
Like cocoa. If I'm buying cocoa at 3,000, you're not going to tell the cocoa farmer me I want to buy 2,900 or 5,000. No.
It's a fixed
to
price.
avoid you going to sell even to somebody who will be involved in gold smuggling.
Okay.
Have you seen how smart the government is? About senior, obi abedi di peche.
When you're not muntu ya famdi for ne.
Ebeti omoka.
Dr. George Nanra ye ne birthday. Sister la wenya zika ri akoko na.
Oh yeah, every before amanya de ba ye be yade enche.
Because of time and one of the topics we were supposed to discuss was a strike and back, but I mean they've reconsidered their decision. I don't think it's something that, but the government needs to do well to make sure they fulfill their promise.
I think the agreement you have to look at it says MPP signed it in November.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Now,
have you read much about the agreement? It's all about condition, improving their conditions.
It went into condition agreement with them.
I've afraid everything about the
agreement.
No. And it's still about service of condition.
MPP after
signing the agreement, after signing the agreement, we are having less than 1 month in office, which we lost the 2024 July. So this one is not really attributed to MPP.
No, but the
after signing the agreement, we had less than 1 month in office. Agreements are not signed and pay on the same day. It have to go through certain processes. Yeah, you need to. We don't sign agreement today, and it have to go through certain process. After signing agreement, even Ministry of Finance, the audit, everything process before. So we are having less than 1 month in office. You should get us right. This strike has nothing to do with NPP or any. You have to do it since you have 4 months in government. I think if you are much interested in fulfilling this argument, you should have done by now. Okay, sure. But they are prepared, so let's see how it goes.
Have you been buying data?
Data, Sam.
Me data. Oh, data there I buy. It's very expensive. Very expensive.
It's very expensive.
Me just anybody your phone.
Oh yes. I'm not that kind of politician. You see, when the things happen, when you're buying data, MTN does not ask whether you're MPP or NDC.
Okay.
Right. And data prices has consistently been increasing even under your era. And it has continued to be increasing. Right. I wouldn't say that I'm going to appreciate government that government has or commend government for reducing. Government has not reduced it.
Okay.
So I won't come and sit here and say that government, why are they power reducing data? Because the person listening know that they have not reduced data. Right. But what I'm just saying is that at the end of this year, right, by the end of this year, the data price will reduce. But to speak currently, data there is the cost. Senior, it's costly.
Very costly.
Yes. So I will not sit here and say that because I'm NDC, data price is cheap. It will raise a common sense because everybody buy data. Our viewers buy data. They know what is on the ground. Okay. So I think government will have to look at that. Because sometimes you buy the God.
It's too expensive. But see, the more reason why people are outraged Did you listen to Sam George?
It's not. This is not about NDC. They are much outraged about Sam George's statement, emphasizing Selowusu that data the expenses.
But Selowusu was there for how many years?
Oh, let's get it right. What is the? He stated that the cost of data shouldn't be attributed to the government, but should be attributed to the Ministry of Communication. Selowusu, he is the one in charge and supposed to make sure that data is and he also stated that data. One of his tweet posts I was even reading, data is not luxury. that was what the data boys was even using against data is not luxury.
I thank God that we have a government now that you can criticize. No one will come to your house and beat you. Criticize Sam George. I mean, I know some of the things that he said, but Selowusu was in power, at least to the best of my knowledge, Minister for Communication for how many years?
4 years.
Correct. Sam George has promised that by the end of this year to reduce. Of course, I had wished that I can by now just reduce.
It's because
I have wished.
You know that in February he said he's setting up a committee to look at this, and we never heard from him until they started bashing him on social media.
The last 3 days, that was when he came out and said that the committee did not perform. A committee that you set up during February. We are now in May. You are now coming to give us a report after you complaining.
No. We can't leave you off the hook like that. We can't leave you off the.
He just want to. He just wanted to agree that some just are just offended. So we should wait for him.
I'm not making an excuse for government because I've been affected by what is happening.
So he just admitted,
right? I use MTN. Their data is so expensive. I've been affected by that, and I'm saying that government must reduce it. So I'm supporting every cost that Sam George should help and the ministers should help. That will reduce the data cost. I'm not defending you people under you. Let me come and defend. We are not defending.
Let me get right. MTN data is not expensive according to your Minister of Communication. When he was in the position, he stated that the government is the one who have to make sure that MTN data is expensive. So get right. MTN data. MTN
what
data,
he meant was that
MTN data was simple. Ministry now making sure MTN data was thing because he was saying that the communication tax. If government was that was then when you guys were in the position. He stated that if the government is wise enough, the Ministry of Communication, the Ministry of Communication will have even removed that tax. And as at now, the tax is still there. You have been in office 4 months, setting up a committee in February, which has still failed to perform.
Talk more.
Even share MTN, start 141 as nice option you can obium.
Says it's about 22 CDs and now.
Even I was reading a post on Twitter. Even the 350 CDs bundle. Even 2 weeks. A lot of guys were complaining,
but it's too bad.
That's why I'm not supporting that because we are all being affected by that. When, as you said, just for you 141. It's not easy. So me, Mr. Ghana, as well. And sometimes, some of us we are even fortunate. I won't say fortunate since we are in the university. Sometimes you don't even use data that much.
You use the
school Wi-Fi, so it's free. But when you go home and you buy data, the 9 cities simple a day, see, it won't last for a day. So imagine even you are spending 9 cities every day. As a student, I mean, how much is your salary every month? People are spending about 1,000 cities every month on salary. How much? Sorry, on data. How much is their salary? So government have to help reduce it. So I want to come and sit here and make an excuse. The most important is the government have made commitment to doing that, and I want to make sure Sam George should make sure honorable that they do it very fast because Ghanaians are really suffering.
I was even expecting you to give this information to Sam George that. If he doesn't know how to do it, he shouldn't complain about it when he has not been given the mandate. If you know how to, the way this one was complaining about doing his opposition, they are not even talking about it. And I know this one Abeka will be about it. If you don't know how to do it, don't complain about it. The boys are suffering. The boys need data. The boys need less expensive data. If you don't know how to do it, don't complain about it. We need action now. Since you said that policy is all planned about action, we need action now. Get the data down for a layman to be able to afford data.
We know you are incompetent, so we'll do it.
Thank you. So, gentlemen, your last words before before you come in with your last words. Let me read. Let me wish someone happy birthday on the show. I don't want to leave you guys and you guys will leave me here alone. Yes, but a very beautiful happy birthday to Mami Esi Josephine. Your people are wishing you love and wisdom and the fear of God. May you grow in
fear of God, yeah, hard.
may you grow in all wisdom. May the love of God establish you in whatever you do, and may you live in love. May you enjoy the love of the nature. May the universe be loving kind to you wherever you are, that you are enjoying your birthday today. So there's a happy birthday to you, and this is coming from Kobe J. This is coming from Kobe J. Also, another beautiful birthday wish to Mrs. Nana Labi. She's the CEO of Radiance Purple Scarlet. A very beautiful birthday to you, Mrs. Nana Labi. God bless your business. God bless your life with good health. May God continue to establish you in His grace and His favor and His blessings. May the kindness of the heavens be with you in this new journey of life that you are beginning in your new age. God bless you. This is also coming from Kobe and Irabana. So, Mrs. Nana Labi, enjoy a beautiful birthday. Gentlemen.
Senior.
Yeah, pony show no. No. So, any last words you have for our people before? I think this is the last time we are going to see Maxwell.
Yeah.
Max there.
You're going to Kumasi?
Yeah,
Dr. Frank Amakon is doing a lot. I'm sure you will soon join this year. Because you know the MPP guy following Baomia, there's this content creator. They went to do some video about airports run about to so that Kwana to Amakon anyway on Baye. Within a week, the road has been fixed. And they went there to do a video again that right time around, we are all citizens. So clearly, all the MPP guys in the Ashanti region are joining NDC. So please, my brother, as you are going, Dr. Frank Amakon is doing the Lord's work in Kumasi. Go and join him. I beg you, in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
With Honorable Frank Amakon, I'm really I will deny the fact that Frank Amakon is working. Frank Amakon is really working in the Ashanti region, which he is doing really, really well. Organizing a lot of programs on campus, which have even benefited from some. Yeah, he's really doing well. We just wish him the best. We should make sure that he gets Ashanti region being one of the biggest regions in Ghana and make Ashanti region proud. And that, and finally, at the Bonibia or Bonibia, you still get one man who still do good. So I think I'm working here represents the NDC by being doing good.
Straight bullet.
But he's really performing.
Gentlemen, there is a breaking news right now. Police armed men stormed Chemanun to miss residents. The story says that police officers and individuals believed to be national security operatives have surrounded the residence of NPP Ashanti Regional Chairman Bernard Enchibu Esiakon, popularly known as Chairman Wontumi. It is currently unclear whether Chairman Wontumi is inside. The team is reportedly demanding access to the premises, which remains locked. They have been seen knocking and banging on the main entrance, awaiting a response.
With this issue about national security, I'm not really against it, but if you need somebody into your premises, whether for interrogation purpose or saying other thing, you could humbly invite the person. You should invite the person. Aside
always be the
whether MPP or NDC, if you need someone in your custody, after inviting a person, when a person is not around or the person refuses to come, that's when you can storm the person's residence.
Because how they do, like they storm the Rambo style.
It's in Ghana that we don't usually deal with emotion and other things, but some people might be affected emotionally. Even their society.
Might be traumatized.
Yeah, they might be traumatized. So aside everything being politics, if you need somebody in your custody or your office, you should invite the person by an invite. If the person refuses your invite, that's when you can even storm the person's residence or whether workplace or whether any place. So I don't really think what they are doing is really right. But this is just a breaking news. I don't really know whether they have invited him that he has refused. But I think the first step should be they should invite him to their custody. If he refuses, that's when they will be able to storm his or her residence.
I don't think that Chama won't can be traumatized. And anyway,
I'm not saying he's traumatized.
He's not even the only person living in.
I'm not saying he's even.
Yes, I get it, Senior. But one thing is that I'm not in support of Rambo style of reading people's house. But if you say other countries, FBI, depending on what they want. They can come into your house, they don't greet you, they open your door, go inside. In interest of national security. Okay. There are times that you don't invite people, you go to their residence. Okay. Sometimes even without once you get the court warrant, you go into their house, do whatever you want. You don't go and invite them or tell them I'm coming to your house. You don't do that. All right. I'm not saying they should continue doing that. Sure. But let's not create the impression that national security cannot raise somebody's house, cannot enter somebody's house. They must inform you. No. Okay. All right. Even in advanced jurisdictions, they do that. They come into your house, they say open your door, we are going inside. They search. Okay. All in the name of national security.
I don't have I don't have a problem with that. That's why they still remain outside the doors and everything is okay.
But I want to greet some people before I go. Okay. 10 UG. Okay. 10 UG President Adomba Modik, to Vice President Emefa, my Deputy Communication, Joseph, our Women's Commissioner. Deputy Joseph Yoba, Senior, and also Sefako, very beautiful girl, and also Jacob Frimpong, and our Secretary Ababu Sandra, and also Okluka, Kima. They are doing so well. 10 UG is the best fraternity you can ever find in Ghana, in the best university in Ghana, Kumasi Legon. Ken UST is an annex of Legon. So it's not a complete school. So if you want the best school for your ward, please make sure you buy Legon forms. When you come, it's not only about academics. Here most people speaking only three on campus. They blend English. You see celebrities coming around. Your life is... So please. Thank you so much. I'm done.
All right. Okay, so guys, that's where we'll be, and then today's show later in the day will be coming your way with the Showbiz Arena. I will be hosting it, so make sure you make time with me 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. this afternoon. So yeah, I'll be coming back on your airwaves. Right after this show, the DJs will take over. DJ Rock will be coming your way with some soothing music. So yeah, stay tuned. Afterwards, Debbie will be coming your way with the midday news as well. Before I call on the curtains, I want to wish a congratulations to congratulations to Mr. Mohammed Akilu Badar, Honorable Mohammed Akilu Badar. He has been appointed as a Deputy NADMO Director for Ablekuma Central Municipal. So yes, Mr. Mohammed, a very beautiful, a huge congratulations to you this morning. May Allah bless this journey of your new endeavor. I will entreat you, as I've always known you to be, that you serve your people with diligence, with honesty, and above all with patriotism. I know you will make us proud there. I know you will serve to the very best of your capacity. So yes, congratulations once again. I know we will get in touch very soon, Mr. Mohammed. Honorable Mohammed Akilu Badar. Now this is where I will be calling on the curtains for the show, Ghana Talks Breakfast Show this morning. It's been a pleasure throughout the week, staying glued with us throughout the week from Monday to Friday. We'll be coming away same time next week with the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show with some more insightful and educative discussions on the show. Enjoy your weekend.
Are you ready to amplify